Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, you were on that one quick.
Hell yeah.
Yay, indeed, Jimmie. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. We are ultra, extra, super excited for it's a post-Super Bowl.
What a game.
Football Crime and Sports.
I loved it. I had a great day.
Yeah, we had a good time. We watched
Drank some beers and ate some wings.
We had a really kind of a stereotypical Super Bowl day.
It was a big party.
It was, what, three of us
there
here?
Was me, you, Sarah. There was your brother
he was
swung
here for an
through
hour.
for like a quarter of the game.
It got pretty wild over here.
And then Frankie and Benny, and it was a big day.
They are omnipresent.
I drank more beers than there were people here.
That's good. So thank you for joining us today. Like I said, football episode today, and it's a crazy one. Mm-hmm. It's somebody that we're very familiar with, too, which will be a lot of fun. Before we get to that, though, quickly, just want to say a couple of things. First of all, thank you for everyone that showed up for the virtual live show over the weekend. You heard the Gogurt story.
Can't thank you enough.
Thank you, honestly.
It's super overwhelming because there's not a lot of people that are succeeding in the space of like that right now.
Yes.
And for you guys to support us the way you do with those, we can't thank you enough. It's awesome.
Honestly. So thank you so much for that, and we hope you enjoyed it. It seemed like everybody had a good time.
We had a great time.
So thank you for that. And also your reviews, they help a lot. Please do that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Find out everything you need to know. Find out your small town murder stuff. By the way, if you've kind of been like, I don't know if I'm going to listen to Small Town Murder, you need to listen to Small Town Murder. Yeah. There is some wild dismembering engine hoist things going on. It's some weird stuff. You need to check it out.
You should be prepared for what your neighbors are willing to do to you.
You should really do. That's a good way of putting it. Listen to that. And Patreon.com. My goodness, this is a banner week. We have some good stuff this week. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody $5 or above, you get access to the Crime and Sports bonus, and you get access to the Small Town Murder bonus. You get access to it all.
Whole damn thing.
It seems like we kind of do stuff that interests everybody in both camps there, so it works out very well. And this week, my goodness, do we have a couple of good ones. For Crime and Sports, we have... I've been waiting for this one. Worst sports contracts of all time. So we're going to talk about some... Here, let's give this guy $80 million, and then he hits like 2 home runs for the rest of his career, and then you have to pay him all that money anyway.
Some bad contracts ruin them. Some bad contracts work out for the people.
You never know. Yeah. I mean, look at Bobby Bonilla. We'll talk about all these. There's going to be a lot of fun there, though, because it's their failure is built into it. Either the failure of management to do this or the failure of a player to perform. Either way, failure is where we thrive. Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then for Small Town Murders, speaking of failure, we are going to talk about BTK Killer. Okay. But we're going to talk about very specific things at BTK. You know how we roll here with these. We're going to talk about, there's a book where he corresponded for a long time with a guy who wrote a book about him. And he's just described his whole life. I mean, he wrote a complete, like, minute-by-minute autobiography, pretty much.
Yikes.
So we are going to go over a couple of the BTK killings. In his words. And you can hear how disturbed it is. It's one thing to see this is what this person did, but then to hear them describe it, how they process it in their mind, is 20 times more disturbing than anything he could do. Just the callousness of it. You got to check it out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you're going to get access to everything, like we said, whole back catalog. Jimmie's going to give you a shout-out at the end of the show. He's going to screw up your name. I'm not going to lie to you.
I apologize in advance.
But he's going to try really hard, so you can check that out. Or if you just want to go to PayPal and get your shout-out, you can do that using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Right.
let's get into this, Jimmy. Big show here. We are going to talk about, we're going to the NFL.
Oh,
we
boy.
said we're going to talk about Terrell Suggs, Jimmy.
Oh, Terrell.
You know old Terrell Suggs.
He was just on pregame coverage talking about how the Super Bowl trophy is
hilarious.
Real close to the same feeling as holding your firstborn child.
Wow. Well, he's got some interesting things with his first and second-born children, and he's got a lot of stuff going on, Terrell. He was on yesterday. I didn't even notice him, but that's good. So he's getting a lot of love.
Getting a little pub, yeah.
Getting there. He's getting this. Little good, little bad. Sorry about that. So it's Terrell Raymond Suggs, Ramonn is his middle name.
Raymond, not Raymond.
Not Raymond, Raymond. Nickname, of course, everybody, this is the dumbest nickname in sports, I think. T-Sizzle. Sizzle. So apparently he got that from a cousin of his.
Yeah.
An older cousin, they called him that when he played basketball, and he passed it on to Terrell. Well, I'm done with the ball, so it's time to pass the T-Sizzle moniker down to you. Everyone, henceforth, Terrell shall be known as T-Sizzle, let it be known. And then it passed throughout the land. That's how it worked.
In 2005, I thought that was the coolest nickname.
He's like, I'm Jay Wizzle. What's up?
Although T-Sizzle sounds like a very fast man's name.
Yeah.
And then you see how fucking not. He's just a big.
He's big.
He doesn't look like he's
for
fast.
his size,
for what he does, he's fast.
Yeah.
But he's not.
I mean,
he's not Usain Bolt.
No. If I put on 70 pounds, I don't think I could run that fast, but he's still,
the worst grill in football.
That's the truth. That's the truth. He's born October 11th, 1982. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I thought he was a little older, but I guess not. It makes sense where he was. He's born in Minneapolis.
Is that right?
It's, I think, him and Prince are the only two black guys born in Minneapolis, probably. I don't even know if Prince was born in Minneapolis.
I don't know if he was. He just loves it.
And I feel like they've scrubbed the records and made it so Kirby Puckett was also born in Minneapolis. If you look it up, even no matter where he was born, it says Minneapolis. That's it. And this is something, again, I didn't know. Suggs is Jewish.
Is that right?
Part Jewish. Yeah. His paternal grandfather is Jewish.
Okay.
So
your mom's got to be Jewish for you to be Jewish.
For you to be
right?
officially Jewish, but you can convert to Judaism or whatever. But he wasn't raised super Jewish or anything, but he has in 2009, he got a Star of David tattooed on his right arm, which he says he got to, quote, remind me of who I am. And he wears a Star of David necklace, too.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's fine, but it looks weird.
You don't expect to see.
Outwardly, it feels a little
If
awkward.
you talk about Jewish athletes and you're like, yes, you got Sandy Koufax and Hank Greenberg, you can go down the list, Sean Green, there's a lot of them. But you wouldn't go Terrell Suggs.
Obviously
T-Sizzle you throw in the mix. It's just not your first thing you think of. Now, he grows up in St. Paul. He's a really good athlete all around, and he's a big son of a bitch. So, I mean, his goddamn thighs are the size of your chest.
They're big.
He's a big guy and a great athlete, too. Yep. And he's good at all sports. He's a center in youth football.
He's center. Yeah, because he's the biggest fucking guy there.
He's big, and also center has to be smart and no plays. So if the kids who understand and process football at a young age, those are the ones they put at the positions where they need to know shit. And so he must have been smart, at least to football. The quarterback that he was snapping to was Joe Mauer. Who Joe Mauer is? Played in the majors for 15 years. Won
he's a baseball
won
player.
an MVP for the Twins.
Really?
He's a Twins catcher. Yeah, forever. Joe Mauer.
That?
Yeah, he's like one of the Twins legends. It's like, it's Kirby Puckett and Harmon Killebrew and Bert Blyleven, maybe. I don't know who the hell else they put. Kent Herbeck in there. Dan Gladden.
Going deep.
Going deep. God damn it. Gary Gaetti could run for mayor tomorrow. He's winning.
I think Larry Fitzgerald was born there too.
Was he? I didn't know that.
He was a ball boy for the Vikings for a very, very long time. That's why he wanted to play football, was because of that.
Okay, there's a lot of athletes that came from that
as
kids that worked like on the sidelines as kids, and then
that's a good point.
I've seen that a lot actually, where
a lot of quarterbacks did that.
Yeah, and then also MC Hammer, who played nothing, but Did something.
But he's too legit to quit,
He
man.
is very much too legit. So his mom's name is Laverne, and his dad's name is Donald.
Yeah.
And that's how he grows up. He's the second cousin of Larry Suggs, who is the father of Jalen Suggs, who is on the Orlando Magic. Yes. So there you go. There's
and that kid's good.
There's a lot.
Boy.
It's athletic in this family.
And there's another one in, I don't know if he's high school or college right now. Unbelievable kid. Really, really good.
That's this family's producing athletes.
Stock.
For you. So in high school, they moved to Arizona after the 8th grade. So for high school.
No shit.
Yeah, which is like my mom moved out before the 8th grade. His family moved out after the 8th grade.
Did he go to Chandler?
Well, as a teenager, he started at Chandler, and then he transferred to Hamilton High School.
Oh, and he is the
on.
start of that school being holy shit dominant in that entire state.
Do you know about Arizona local high school football?
I happen to know a little bit.
Why?
Hamilton is just unbelievable. They dominate. They
Where
win
is that
state.
school?
It's in Chandler.
Oh, it's in Chandler. Okay.
Or maybe Gilbert. Either way, it's in
East
the East
Valley. Who cares?
It dominates state, and then nationally, it's close.
Okay.
They do very, very well. They're number one in fucking everything in Arizona.
It's one of those. Okay. Yeah. Now, Terrell, very popular player, not a defensive player in high school, by the way. Running back.
Is it? Holy fuck! Can you imagine?
Tackle that guy.
That's why.
That's
why they're so good.
Yeah, tackle him. Good luck.
I'll bet you they're scouting.
When you're 16 years old.
They've got to be scouting.
What do you mean?
Because they got him from Chandler High over to... They're certainly scouting.
Any football powerhouse school, it's not like... It's one thing if a kid happened to go there who's the best quarterback in a generation and he takes them to whatever, but if they're always good, we think just
scouting their asses off.
That neighborhood produces good kids. No, they're scouting. It doesn't... the water around here, really... The kids grow big and strong and fast. It's really weird. And with football acumen. It's very
Chandler has become quickly very strangely... populated with people
that... You stop it strangely.
It's strangely populated.
No, just over. That's it. Done. You went too far, Jimmie.
With people that have lots of expensive toys.
Really?
Like, lots of them. There are giant boats and big old cars and motorcycles that are customized like crazy. It's bizarre.
They live in a particle board box in the desert.
They live in that.
Yeah.
Chicken wire wrapped fucking plywood.
It's an Arizona house.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. They're like $1 million I'll pay for that. What do I get? An eighth of an acre of fucking barren desert? With that on it? Perfect.
Done.
$1 million too. Sorry, I didn't know about the land.
It's insane.
It is. Terrell, always known as a good teammate. All of his teammates love him. He's one of these guys that, like, he's a team leader always. They always love him. And here's an anecdote from high school that I found from a newspaper when he was in high school talking about him. Because there's a lot of, like, coverage of him in high school.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah, they pumped him
papers,
pretty hard. And that's why they kept him.
I guess, yeah. They said at one point he would, like, there was a big game. And he said he was going to take all of his like offensive line and stuff out for a meal after the game.
Yeah.
And he said, quote, guys, no matter how good or bad I play, on Thursday we're going out to eat.
Okay.
And he shelled out $60 for everybody to eat. I mean, it's not. Yeah, they weren't going to sitting down at somewhere fancy, but Taco Bell, whatever. So he thought it was good. He said, quote, it's worth it. It's worth it. He worked at a video store on the side.
Yeah, Blockbuster.
To earn extra money. And, he says that his mom works 2 jobs, so she doesn't have a lot of money to give him. And he said, quote, I work mainly to help my mom, so I had to ask her if it was okay to spend the $60 to take it out. He's very close to his mom, too. Yeah. His mom comes to a lot of his football games and all of his court appearances. So that's... That's close, Jimmie. I'm dead serious, too. That's close. The end of every article is, and Laverne was crying in the back of the courtroom, and Terrell hugged her and said, it's okay, Mom.
I'm sorry, Mom.
I got away with it again. It's fine. No. It's very silver around here, Mom. Hug me. It's okay. So, he thought it was good, though. He thought it was a a nice thing to do for his teammates and to build camaraderie and to make them want to block for him.
Sure.
You know, he transfers, and he said, quote, to the Hamilton, he said, quote, transferring was the best thing for me academically. If I had stayed at Chandler, I wouldn't graduate this year. Now I'm going to graduate on time, and I'm getting high scores. It's like,
wait, what?
If I stayed there, they were going to make me do work and like the real things. Here,
they bullshit everything, and I make it through.
It was pretty wild. This kid that weighs like 100 pounds came over, and he did all my work for me. It was excellent.
What do you want to bet when Hamilton read that? They were like, why did you say that?
Why did you say that? You couldn't cut it there, but here you're getting high scores, and you're going to pull it off? Jesus.
Don't say that.
God damn. Tell the other football kids from other schools that, not the paper. God damn it.
That sounds illegal.
He said,
doesn't it?
I mean, it doesn't sound...
Because Hamilton's not a charter school.
I guess they can say their teaching is so much better that he's understanding things more. I guess what else are you going to say?
Maybe, but if they can give him the credits, then the other school should be able to also, because it's a public school.
Yeah.
How is their credit heavier than Chandler's credit?
Probably,
whatever the fuck he's got to do.
Probably the football coach might have a little more pull.
Maybe so.
Possibly at Hamilton in 1998.
Maybe he can do science 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 at the exact same time.
Roll them up, Jimmy. Roll them up. Wow. He said, they have classes here that will help me on my SATs so I can go to college.
Yeah, classes. Guys.
Yeah, because your SAT scores are what's going to get you into college, not your insane football acumen. So he at this point, they're already recruiting him. Mm-hmm. So you need to just get whatever that minimum is that the college is required.
He was heavily recruited. I remember it on the fucking news.
Yeah, absolutely. He says that he said, quote, I was playing, but I wasn't getting the ball that much at Chandler. Mm-hmm. He said, the most I carried the ball was 8 times. Last Friday, I carried the ball 38 times.
Holy shit.
That's like O.J. Simpson in the 70s. That's crazy. 38 times.
Akers did not carry it 38 times yesterday.
No one carries the ball 38 times. That's an old school, like the 1990 Giants would give it to Otis Anderson 38 times. To try to have like a 48-minute time of possession for the game.
Unbelievable.
He said leaving really was the best thing for me playing wise. So, and his head coach there said, quote, I've been a head coach for 17 years and I've never had a young man as talented as he is. Mm-hmm. He's very intelligent and athletically smart too. And remember, he's only 16.
Oh,
he's very young.
Yeah. I get to keep him for 2 more years.
I get him.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's got 3 brothers. He's the middle brother, by the way. I think he was, I'm not sure how that worked exactly, where he went and when. So he says they're saying he's 6'3", and he's saying he's 6'5". So I don't know
he's 6'3",
which one it is. Maybe he's 6'4", and we'll split the difference. But he's 235 pounds at that point. Mm-hmm. So that's a big guy. He said he had a game where he had 4 touchdowns in high school, and he said, my mom didn't get to see me run for my 4 touchdowns. She had to work. I was asleep when she came home, so she found out about it in the paper. She was so happy. She called Chicago. She called everybody. She called all around, telling proud here. He's really like a good kid in high school, from what I gather. There's no shenanigans for him outside. There's no...
Or at least it wasn't written up in the paper. That's the thing about Arizona. You can do shit quietly there.
That's true. It's a weird... It's kind of an open thing, and you are allowed to they don't really publicize that stuff. And they're not really, I don't know if they're looking to.
I don't know that they care. It's not like it's kind of like a drama-less community. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's something that's insane.
That's the thing. Yeah.
They love the scandal crazy shit, but a kid selling weed doesn't matter.
Or some kid who gets drunk at desert parties in Chandler or something.
It's not a big deal.
If they give a shit about it. But he's not into he might drink beer at a party or something, but he's not like a crime kid. Mm-hmm. He's not rolling around with some of these
stealing
kids.
Things.
Some of the athletes we've talked about, they were doing
crazy shit in high school.
Yeah, and playing very well at the same time. But this is a different thing here. He said there was a cousin of his when he was 16 who died.
Yeah.
His cousin. He said it was a close cousin of his. He said, but his cousin's dad was a gangster in Chicago, and this kid kind of idolized his cousin, and he said that his cousin was murdered in 1998. By the way, so there you go. he said the last time he talked to him was he told his cousin that if he makes the NBA, because basketball was his main concern at the time, if he makes the NBA, he's going to buy him a car.
Yeah.
And the cousin told him that, fuck that, just get me a pound of weed. I'll turn that into all this shit. And he
I'll
was
get
like,
my own car.
You're not really thinking about this, right? So he didn't really get to talk to him anymore after that, and then he was killed. So he was like, that was a sad thing for him. He set the Arizona Class 5A record for rushing yards in a game.
Holy shit.
Against Yuma with 367 yards in a game.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of yards.
367?
That's a lot. That's like a quarterback's passing numbers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of yards. And a good game.
That's a great game for Tom Brady.
That's silly. So that's just running people over.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was also good on the defense, but everybody identified him as a running back because his senior season he rushed for 2,274 yards
in high school.
In like 10 games.
Holy shit.
And 26 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
That is silly. That's just silly. That's a man who's playing with children.
He is putting up 21 points on the board every game.
He's putting up like 2 good NFL seasons in 1 year of high school.
Holy
the numbers
shit.
for 2 good, solid NFL seasons. He's doing that 1 year of high school in like 10, 11 games, wherever they play in high school. It's not 16 games.
That's a fantasy football stud.
That's insanity, man. As a senior, he was named a Parade High School All-American and Gatorade Arizona Player of the Year.
Yep.
And the number one, Super Prep magazine named him the number 1 athlete in the nation, Arizona Player of the Year by USA Today, and an All-American by USA Today as well. And he's ranked the 60th best player in the nation by the Sporting News.
Country.
Not too shabby.
Not bad.
It's pretty goddamn
For
good.
Arizona?
And he also lettered 3 times in basketball and once in track as well.
Jesus.
So, dude can fucking play stuff. He's just a stud athlete. There's no doubt about it. He's a man, it's awesome. And smart guy, too, from what everybody says. He's a pretty bright guy. So, Arizona State he chooses out of everything, and he's staying home, which... I don't know, man. It's not always, but the guys that stay home like that, I don't like that mentality.
I think, and just from the information that I've heard so far, I believe that was strictly based on mom can come to the games.
That's possible.
That's it.
That's nice, actually, if you're doing that. Okay, mom can come to the
100%.
games.
I guarantee that was the biggest key to this puzzle.
He also went to U of A and checked that out. He said that
too
was
far of a drive.
It's a 2-hour drive.
Miserable.
You don't want to send your mother to Tucson.
No,
you don't want to send anyone
once
to Tucson.
a week. Oh,
never.
Jesus.
Never.
She'll only go to Tucson when ASU plays them.
Yeah, and even then, it's like, maybe you skip that game. It's pretty gross down there.
It's gross, and it's a long drive.
It's bad stuff. So in 2000, he's really good. I mean, it's just fucking silly. He's setting sack records and all this shit. He's tearing it up, man. He plays in 11 games right off the bat in 2000 as a freshman.
Wow.
And it's like a real freshman, too, which is doesn't happen very often. He decides to go there. Bruce Snyder is there as the coach, and he's interested. So he finishes when he goes to college, his college career is 163 tackles and a career record 65.5 tackles for a loss.
Wow.
Which is
getting in the backfield, whether it's a sack or getting the running back.
44 sacks.
Wow.
Also he had, which is very silly. In 2002, he set an NCAA single-season record with 24 sacks. Yeah. That's a lot of sacks.
So they switched him in college from running back to linebacker.
Yeah, they saw him and they were like,
you can't do that.
You can either be a blocking fullback.
Right.
That sounds fun, right? Or
you can try to kill people all day.
You can cause mass havoc in the backfield at all times.
Well, we'd rather you do that.
Yeah, that would be better. So he also had 2 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, 14 forced fumbles, and 9 passes deflected.
He was so good.
Just that side of the field, just don't go there.
Don't go there.
He's over there.
Yeah.
It's gonna just leave him alone. That's a beast, man. And the scouts were everywhere too, like all over him. People were, he was getting to be, one game he had 4.5 sacks and there was like a shitload of scouts there watching him. So it was a lot. People were really,
big day.
Really, really impressed with him there. He had 17.5 sacks here, which tied him with Dwight Freeney, and then which Freeney, those were unofficial because they didn't.
Sure.
They didn't start.
They didn't do half sacks?
They didn't start doing sacks in the NCAA, officially counting them until 2000.
Oh.
They were always counted in, here's the stats,
Sure.
but they're not like in the actual record
In the
books.
record books.
Like in the NFL is the same thing. They
Right.
used to say how many they had, but they didn't start until 82.
Which is crazy,
counting
right?
them.
Isn't
It's
that
ridiculous.
Isn't it insane that they didn't count them?
It's wild. The basketball used to have a lot of stats too that they didn't keep.
Really?
It's weird. They didn't keep offensive and defensive rebounds. It was just total rebounds in the 60s. So it was like the ABA was the first league to get better stats because the NBA was like rebounds are fine.
The offensive rebound is so much harder to get.
Counts a lot for a lot more too.
Yeah.
It's a lot more valuable.
Sure.
And, so it wasn't good for evaluation. The stats they kept. So
And a sack is fucking incredible.
a sack is amazing. It stops the whole game.
It's insane that it can happen.
It stops the whole game. It's the football equivalent. Football is a couple. They have a long run, a long pass, or a sack or a pick. Those are your home run equivalents of like everyone goes, oh shit, and stands up
and the
and watches.
achievement of getting it is like, how did you do that? You had a man, as bad as you wanted the quarterback, a man wanted you to not get the quarterback just as much.
Yeah.
And you beat him.
That's the shit.
And
That's wild, right?
that guy didn't have anybody block him. He could just run away from you, and you still caught him.
You still caught him.
It's incredible.
And he's smaller than you.
Right.
He should be able to run away. Or weighs less
It's
usually.
incredible.
Anyway. So Archuleta, Adam Archuleta, who played for years in the NFL, he is a teammate at ASU. He said about Terrell, I always knew he was going to be something special. He was just scratching the surface when I got a chance to play with him. So there's a trip he talks about, and this, I don't know if I believe this. This sounds like one of those good publicity stories that they put out before the draft to show a kid's like a good, humble kid.
Yeah.
And I don't believe anything.
Is this the story from Mexico?
I know this is Vegas.
Okay.
I don't believe any good or bad publicity within a month of the draft of anybody.
Yeah.
If they say he killed his grandmother, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
If they say he just helped a bus full of overturned special needs children to safety and then it exploded, I don't believe that either.
Yeah.
There's nothing I believe. What Mexico are you talking about? I don't know if I know this.
I know a guy named Adam Archuleta, matter of fact, that went to Mexico with him.
Safety for the Rams?
No, not. It's an entirely different Adam Archuleta.
That's why you made that face. I was like,
what the fuck? Why are they interviewing this guy? He does not play. He played high school football with T-Sizzle, and they went to Mexico. And I've heard the story 30 times and cannot, for the life of me right now, remember how it all ended. But it was fisticuffs, and I believe T-Sizzle was throwing men off of Adam and the teammates in a bar in Mexico. And nobody got arrested.
That's the thing. Terrell will throw hands.
Yes. He's a fighting son of a bitch.
Does not mind. No, he's a tough bastard.
He is.
He's a big son of a bitch. And football players, these guys, I mean, think about how much contact they have on a daily basis. They're in practice, constant. They're constantly contact. Guys are popping them in the head, all this shit. Like normal people don't get... Your body doesn't get jarred like that very often.
Right.
So those guys, any kind of combat means nothing to them.
Right.
They do this every fucking day. What are you going to do? Slam them down? Fine. I fall down 100 times a day. I don't give a shit. That's fine.
Will not hurt.
A normal person's like, I broke my hip. I fell down. Oh, God.
Oh, I just remembered that is not his last name, but it is very, very close.
Okay.
His name is Adam, and it ends in Etta, so that's why it ruined me.
Well, this, I think, is one of those publicity stunts here. It might not be, but apparently he had a girlfriend who lived in Calabasas, California at the time. And by the way, I know somebody who, I won't say names or anything, but I knew a guy a long time ago who, when Terrell first came into the league, I believe he might have married this girl who used to go out with Terrell Suggs in college. So, I mean,
wow.
I'm sure he went out with many girls, but,
Yeah.
you know, he's a college football playing star, so...
Spread his seed far and wide.
Yeah, I'm sure he's had plenty of opportunities.
As a good farmer does.
Yes, yes. That's right. I just pictured him with one of those, like, seed bags. It looks like a newspaper bag over his shoulder across his body.
Handfuls of jizz.
Yeah, I just pictured him doing it like that. You know what I mean? Like they do with the seed. They're like he's jerking it. Yeah, that's what I pictured. Just flinging jizz everywhere. Here you go. Here you go.
Handful for you.
Or maybe he does it like a Catholic priest with the little squirt.
Like a donkey tail.
Ha, on your face. Ha! There you go. I christened thee. I don't know what he's doing.
Dips a donkey tail in a bag of jizz and just whacks you in the face with it.
Or one of those little the bottles the priests use.
Or the bottle.
Yeah. Just
your thumb over
just
it.
widens up the opening a little. That's all.
Gross.
That is gross. That's almost as gross as Gogurt, but probably not. So, at this, I guess this girl asked him to take a trip with her and her friends to Las Vegas because her brother passed the bar and became a lawyer. So she was excited. We're all going to Vegas to celebrate.
That's a big party.
And he said he had no money.
Yeah.
He said he had no money. I can't imagine ASU doesn't slip money to star local athletes under the table. I'm sorry. They're just that's if you said name the dumb shit schools that would do that, ASU would be at the top of my fucking top of my list.
The amount of bars and nightlife that's around that fucking college. How does a star student be broke around there? You got to entertain that kid. Otherwise, he's going to Texas.
Oh, where they will give him money.
Fuck yes.
He'll go to SMU back in the day or something. They gave Eric Dickerson's parents. I mean, Dickerson was driving like a fucking giant gold car in his junior year of college. Like, what the fuck?
You're working hard at down at the Shoney's?
What are you doing? You don't have time for that. So the only thing that's like some colleges actually guys will be broke and some colleges will only pay like a quarterback and a couple of guys. But like I've heard the story. I think we've talked about it before that Arian Foster told on a documentary about being in college and he wasn't one of the guys getting paid.
Right.
And he was saying that they were literally fucking starving. And he said him and some guys, there's 4 or 5 guys on the team in his apartment, and they were like, we got to call coach and tell him what the fuck's up. They called the coach and said, hey, we have no food. Yeah. We're 5 giant fucking guys practicing football every day. If you don't fucking do something right now, we're going to go out and do shit we know how to do to get this shit. Right. Understand? That might not be good for you.
It's not good for this school at all.
And he said, I'll be there in a half hour, the coach said. He said he came over with 100 tacos from Taco Bell and was like, here, eat up. But that's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
That's fucking crazy that you should have to beg for food when you're making a school millions of dollars.
You literally
obviously
have zero time to benefit financially gain anywhere, and this school is not going to take care of that.
And don't tell me he gets an ASU education because he's a local. That ain't worth much there. It really isn't.
In a minute,
it's not worth a lot in Arizona as far as your local.
No,
Oh, you went to ASU. Oh,
wow,
top of the pile for you.
Didn't know.
You're the only one. Did you know that?
Wow.
Gee, was it ASU West? Did you really buckle down?
Was it the downtown
the main campus or what? Which one was it?
Did you go to the one next to the Catholic diocese and the food shelter? That one? That one holds a lot of weight.
It does, especially the west one next to the
next to the
apartment complexes and shit.
That's next to the fucking Section 8.
There's a very Glendale's known for its academic viability. Let's be realistic here. You think Cambridge, you think places like that. You think Glendale, Arizona. If you're thinking. Now, we're making fun of this. Neither of us went to any college.
No.
So 2 weeks of ASU, you're above us. So
you're already.
Don't take it as an insult. But
you had
ASU,
a leg up in the job interview competition with me.
Yeah. But you know how in the hierarchy of colleges, you're not walking around fucking bragging about ASU to people outside Arizona. Where'd you go, Yale? ASU. Be like, is that accredited? People would be saying, is that a real school? They just play football, right?
That one's online, right?
Yeah, it's an onliner. I think I saw a commercial for that at 2 a.m. I was on
Larry
watching
Fitzgerald go there?
Watching Hulu, and it just popped up. I was like, yeah, okay. So,
behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories, 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
He said he had no money, so he said his mom gave him $52
to go to Vegas.
Yeah, so
okay.
He said that's all she had to give him. So
you can go there, then come home,
and that's it. So he's like, all right. So they all went to dinner. They went to a group dinner, and he said after that he was down to $20.
Yep.
So he said he cried his eyes out. He said, "How the fuck am I going to eat for the next 2 days?
Yep.
It's Las Vegas. This is fucking crazy." He says, quote, "You know what? Let's do this." Let's
oh, boy.
I think he needs it in their own words for this. For this this poor tale of a... yeah, let's do it. That's,
Pretend you're talking through gang sign crossed teeth, because it is crazy what's happening in that man's mouth.
He says, in their own words, quote, "I had to compose myself because I didn't want to let them know I was in the bathroom crying. I was like, this will never happen again. And it just fed a monster. I was determined this will never happen to me again."
Okay.
All right, Terrell. All right, T-Sizz, calm down.
He's about to tear his pants and turn into the Hulk.
Yeah, I think he does that anyway normally, just because he's so muscular. He said whenever they went out to eat, the rest of them, he'd say, "I'm going to go gamble."
Oh.
Yeah, you guys do that. And then he would go like get McDonald's on the Strip or like some fast food. You know how Vegas has that
that's sad one.
This, you know where it is. Yeah. It's like outside across from New York, and it's like on the second floor, and it's a giant food court. And there's like a wiener schnitzel. There's all sorts of shit, and they just play depressing Spanish music on loops.
That's where T-Sizzle was eating.
When you're eating your wiener schnitzel, you're like, no one here's a big winner. No one here had a great night and crushed it at the tables.
We're all bigger losers than the big winner.
This is bad shit here. So that's how he got through the weekend, and he said he made it through the weekend. A couple of weird things about Terrell that are kind of funny, not weird in terms of like, aberrant societal behavior, but just funny little things here. Andrew Walter was the quarterback at the time.
Oh, yeah. And that poor bastard.
They lived in the same freshman dorm suite together. And that guy, didn't they make him start when he was like a freshman or something and fucked them all up, I think, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't think did he make the NFL and was like a backup for like a year and was
possible.
Gone?
Or it might have been like an undrafted sign by somebody. And
they had him running
around
for his fucking life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, ASU sucks. But I don't know if they're good now.
It's a good pocket pass. Oh, they're not.
They've had problems. Okay. Essentially, they're an up and down. Yeah. They're an up and down program.
Herm Edwards has given them a terrible name now. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
He's gone and done some illegal recruiting things, evidently.
Yeah. Well, people he's an NFL coach.
Right.
The NFL coaches are like, well, you just go get a guy. There's no rules. This is NFL has the same rules as war. Right. Like there's no rules. They're ruthless with each other. It's fucking it's that's how they think of it.
Heard you got a sharpshooter around here. We'll take him.
Well, it's war between billionaires. It's not like it used to be, some family businesses and it's like, oh, our fellas will kick their like that's how it used to be. Now it's just like, well, fuck, we need to get him because our stock prices are going to this. And I'm going to lose $1 billion in valuation if we don't sign fucking our quarterback again.
And the NFL perpetuates that by having the Rams win the fucking Super Bowl because that's all they did was just trade and buy the best things that they could get. Granted, there's a salary cap and there's rules in place to keep them from overspending.
That's always been an option for a team to go all in on a season and then watch your franchise fall apart for the next 5 years. Because that's always been an option, and teams have done it, and there's a price to pay for it. There is. Yeah. That's just the way it works. There's not going to have a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning situation there, because if you're just picking up guys trying to fill in holes.
Sometimes quarterbacks need that chip so bad for their career that they will take a pay cut. And others will not.
Well, usually when you do this, also you're mortgaging it because there's a lot of deferred stuff.
Sure.
So your payments,
kicking the can down the road on things.
In 3 years, half your salary cap might be dead money from guys from the Super Bowl team. Right. So that's a problem.
And you've got just a bunch of scrubs, and you've got to try to sell T-shirts on that team.
Shit, in a giant market with a lot to do and a beach and an ocean.
Right.
Good luck.
And a brand new stadium with the mortgage.
We just fucking buried them and put up a tombstone. They won the Super Bowl 12 hours ago. Jimmie, it was like 14 hours ago. These people had a trophy and they were celebrating, and they're the greatest thing in the world. And we're like, well, that's the end of that. Stick a fork in that franchise. They're fucking done. Sorry, everybody.
That's what happens when you get an aging team, too. Stars retire, man. And then what are you going to do?
When they retire, they go other places.
You got to hope somebody else is as good as Donald. It's not going to happen.
No, that's a once
in a lifetime thing.
Once in a generation. He's your guy like that teams have, these big star players. So he's with Andrew Walter, and they're living in the same place. And I guess he's brushing his teeth, and he looks over.
Oh, that takes all day.
He walks in, and he walks in to see Terrell Suggs shaving his entire body.
Oh.
Which is what he does between games.
Is that right?
Before every game, he completely shaves his whole body because he says it makes him feel faster.
Yeah. Less wind drag.
You have a uniform over it. If your pubes are so formidable that it's causing drag through football pants with the cup, you really have to trim up at that point. That's a lot.
You're wearing pants that go down past you're wearing capris, sir.
You're wearing capris and pads. So Walter said he walked in, said, "What's up?" And then he said, "Hey, that's my razor."
No!
You can't
Get that off your asshole.
Get it off your taint. You just got done fucking just cleaning your taint.
I shaved my mustache with that, you son of a bitch.
The part right below above the lip. Right there. That's what that smell was. It's your taint.
Oh, my God.
It's the underside of your nutsack. That's the problem.
That's why it hurt when I shaved.
So he said, Suggs went, "Oh, really? Sorry. Here, man."
You can have it back.
He goes, "No, thanks. Keep it." Really? It's all yours, bro.
What I meant was that was my razor.
Yeah. That's you. I meant buy your own razors is what I was getting at. Don't steal mine.
Terrell Suggs just goes into bathrooms and uses the
grabs a razor
equipment.
and starts hitting his fucking dick sack up. No problem.
If Terrell Suggs ever asks to use your restroom, the answer is no.
No. Clean it out.
Cannot.
No shaving implements. So he was, a lot. He also says that he took a sign language class as a freshman, which enabled him. He took it to meet girls, he said, because he heard there was a lot of girls in sign language. Oh. So he took sign language to meet the girls, which is shit that 18-year-old kids do. They're like, where are girls at? I don't care. Well, these classes, I'm playing football. I don't care what classes I'm in. I want classes where I can meet girls, and I play football. That's that's the package I'm looking for. That's my Easter egg.
Why are you doing extra shit when the thing that gets girls, you already do it?
You're doing it.
You're doing all of it.
I guess he wanted. He
wants every girl.
I want a Karen girl that wants to know what deaf people think and shit. I want a girl who's like, "What's that deaf motherfucker thinking right now?" That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. That's a girl that cares, goddammit.
Not every girl's into football, so I got to do other shit that the other girls are into because I want to fuck them all.
And they're going to be like, "Oh, you care about sign language?" He could be like, "One of my cousins was deaf when I was 8, and the fact that I couldn't communicate with him broke my heart." And then he's, "Oh." Next thing you know, he's T-Sizzling, just flinging it like
just donkey tail blessing.
Yelling in Latin and flicking fucking in the name of the Father and the Son, and fucking
just blessing them all.
That has to be very blasphemous and offensive. So I apologize, but I don't, because it's fucking hilarious and I don't care. So he takes this class and he said because of this, it taught him to read lips.
Oh.
So he said he could read the quarterback's lips and he could see what's going on in the huddle and he could see
genius
plays, and that's why when people say why do the coaches cover their faces up, they literally have people trying to read their lips. That's why it's crazy warfare. There's a guy up there with binoculars going, I think he said left. He said, call it, and he said left. It's crazy. It's the amount of reconnaissance of war.
Yeah. I don't know why the Cincinnati coach kept covering his mouth. He has an underbite so tragic. There's no way you can read those lips.
No. He does.
It's like an English bulldog speaking English. You can't. You won't decipher that.
Hello, it's 44 right, 8:23 left.
His underbite is fucking
on three. Yes.
That is crazy.
He's everybody said he's a nice guy off the field, Suggs.
Yeah.
They said that he's a nice guy, but also they said that he would try to take advantage of shit. He would say, I think he thought he was a star, so he's like he could kind of get away with some shit that underclassmen couldn't usually get away with.
Right.
So he would talk about, I'm having cramps and stuff. I should probably get in first class on the flight, which they gave to the seniors.
Yeah.
And he was like, but you should probably I'm a big guy.
I'm handicapped.
Yeah. So I got to go in that section. And but no, that was his. Didn't work, but it didn't work. But he tried. Yeah. So pre-draft here, he's going to be a top 10 draft pick.
For sure.
Everything we've described. How is he not going to be a top 10 draft pick?
He was a monster in college.
He really was. The amount of talent here cannot be understated.
I feel bad for anybody that played on that team with him, because good for them that they got to play with him and the spotlight's on the team, and hopefully they get a little bit of the shine. But no, it did not happen.
That's the thing.
It was focused on him and the quarterback. What was his name?
Andrew Walter for a minute.
That's the guy. That's how bright he shined.
If teams like that, though, he brings the scouts.
Yeah.
But if during the game the scouts are all there, if you have a great game,
they don't give a fuck about
they're watching
else.
you too.
Yeah.
Then they're that's how a lot of guys got found from other guys they were going to look at, and they're like, fuck that, who's that guy?
Right.
There's so many stories about guys got found like that.
But Terrell was so good.
He's a beast.
You were not doing that. That was not going to happen.
No, top 10 pick, he's going to be Grace.
Yeah.
This is Grace. Now, not Grace for his career or for his life, but definitely Grace for public opinion maybe and things of that nature, and just his life being a constant, because at this point his life is one big fluff piece. Every story is what a nice kid he is. He's so talented. His mom works 2 jobs. He doesn't have enough money to go to Vegas, so he cries in a bathroom and eats fast food but keeps a happy outer spirit, so everyone thinks he's great. It's all this fluffy shit. Now it's Grace, because now
it's real.
Well, now, once the draft comes up, teams hire private investigators. Like, everything is what
we know everything you've ever done.
Yes, and everybody who you've ever known, now you are under a spotlight. So anything that's ever happened about you, someone who doesn't like you or something, it's fucking coming out now. Yeah. This is the time. Right. This is when people care. So there's a brawl. In Arizona, which, shocking.
It happens
all the time. Yeah. It happened, I guess, at where was it? Outside of a basketball game? Like that was
the ASU game?
No. It was
Suns game?
I think it was a pickup game.
Oh my God!
I think it was just a
like at a park,
but an indoor thing, like like a rec center,
a gym.
One of those rec centers, like on Deer Valley up there. And so he was in there, and apparently there was a goddamn brawl. And shocking, Suggs was throwing people around, fucking like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. He was fucking kicking people's asses.
Like, he will pick people
monster.
Up, like honestly, like a wrestler over his head and throw them, and he can.
He's enormous. And he's strong. And like I said, he's in constant combat. And if he's playing basketball, most of those guys aren't constantly getting fucking hit every play of the day. So it's a different mentality here. So Terrell gets blamed for the fight, but it doesn't seem like it was his fault, honestly. It seems like some shit went down and he was there and he took care of some business, which is fine. But if you have the NFL draft coming up, when some shit goes down, you got to make everyone in your crew aware of, hey, if some shit goes down, you motherfuckers are on your own.
It's also, everything's going to get blamed on me.
I'm going this way when that shit happens. Right. You can either follow me or you can be involved in the shit and not have my fucking help. But I'm not wasting.
Keep my name out your mouth.
I'm not losing millions of dollars because that guy called you a name and you're upset about it. Like, I'm sorry.
We're at LA Fitness.
This
guys.
is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not going this at the old 24 hour. So he said that at this point he's expected to be as much as a top 5 pick. So it's a big deal. But apparently this was basketball tournament at Phoenix Municipal Stadium. So he's at Muni.
What?
Where the fuck is there a basketball tournament at the baseball field at Muni? Is there like
Phoenix
another
Municipal Stadium? Where is that?
Is there like
Is that over by the A's Stadium over on Washington?
That is the A's Stadium.
It is.
Phoenix Muni is the A's Stadium. The spring training.
Oh my God, that's the course.
Spring training of the A's.
That's outdoor basketball courts.
Okay, well there you go. There was a basketball tournament. It was in March, so that makes sense. It's not like July where they'd have to shovel the bodies off at the end. So it's March 29th. There's a basketball tournament at Phoenix Muni, and apparently afterwards that's where the brawl stemmed from basketball. And his lawyer, or his agent, Gary Weichard, said, quote, "It's very ironic they're coming out with this 3 days before the draft after I was told they requested $2 million or they would go to the press." He said, "To me, that's what this whole thing is about. For them to go to the media with this, it seems coincidental with trying to defame Terrell, who's never had a problem with the law, and to hurt Terrell's draft status. It smells of an athlete in the spotlight who's worked hard to be put in a position that Terrell is in and to try to capitalize on his financial reward. He's never been charged with anything. It seems like blackmail."
Okay, I could see that angle, but
like
also,
I said,
that's spin.
Oh yeah, that's his agent. Yeah. That's the guy who gets 10% of what he gets. Right. So he's trying to make sure even an attorney's trying to keep you out of jail. They don't get a percentage of your salary. Right. This guy's making sure
he's playing the long game.
But I also put this under the just like a positive story, the thing of I don't believe anything that comes out that close to the draft, or I believe it, but it's
grain of salt.
It's going to be skewed. You know what I mean? It's not like on March 30th, this was a big deal when it happened on the 29th. So apparently, there's a couple of guys here that contend that at this point, he's 258 pounds of muscle.
Holy fuck.
I guess he got in a heated exchange with several men. The men alleged that Suggs handed a baseball bat to his younger brother, Donald.
Oh.
That's the accusation. And the father named the youngest one, because Suggs is the middle one. Right. That's the youngest son he named after himself.
Okay. Oh, so maybe waited a while.
Maybe he had to get a couple out of the way. Like, we'll name one after your father, we'll name one after my father, and then the next one we can fucking...
Then it's me.
Then we do what we want.
One way or another, we're getting me.
So apparently this is the accusation. That Suggs handed the bat to his brother and said, quote, "Swing this bat to kill, not to injure."
Oh, T.
That's the accusation.
Sizzle him.
Sizzle him up, baby. Throw down some olive oil and put him on a hot pan.
Swing to kill?
These men contend that Suggs punched one of them, who was a 145-pound guy named J.C. Cook, breaking his nose. And held down Cook's friend Anthony Henry while he was struck with a steel rebar.
Oh.
That's the accusation. So
there was rebar involved too?
Yeah, it gets more and more complicated. But
is there a construction site nearby?
It's Phoenix Muni. There's always something being...
Who's got rebar?
It's the middle of the desert over there. So true. I don't know where... But I don't know. Yeah, I don't have some rebar. Who's got
rebar in the trunk?
You just take it with you somewhere. I know a lot of kids back when I was a kid around here that used to just carry a hammer around just to...
Yeah, but a hammer seems like a good weapon. Rebar seems dumb.
That's a good fucking weapon.
It'll swing, sure, but
it'll break your goddamn arm, too. Yeah. Oh, then it's just even more. Now you can ball it up and make it harder and beat someone on the head with a ball of rebar.
Double the strength?
Yeah. Pow. Make a corner and then hit someone on the head with that would hurt. Fucking cut you open, man. It seems like it would hurt. Yeah. I don't want to get my rib cage worked over with a steel rebar. So it sounds like that's what was going on here. Okay. That's what they said. Suggs' attorney, now he said, their statements are as false as they are calculated to damage Terrell's opportunity in the upcoming draft.
Wow.
It's a well-crafted statement.
Sure is.
His student loans are worth it, that guy.
He's making it all pay off.
It's a good one. He provided the Arizona Republic with interview transcripts from 7 witnesses who described an entirely different fracas. Saul and these witnesses claim, Saul's his lawyer, that Cook started the trouble by taunting and threatening Donald Suggs. How dumb are you? This is Phoenix, by the way, everybody. Where a 145-pound moron
with a big mouth
taunt a guy who's standing next to a mountain of aggression and fucking physical acumen. And he's like, fuck yeah, that's the kind of dumb shit that Phoenix is. And then you have to beat this guy up. You have to beat up the crackhead 445-pound moron.
It's a 145-pound man with a 250-pound mouth. And
it happens a lot.
And he's going to get it fed to him.
And you just go,
Jesus.
Every time it's like, Jesus. I was a bouncer for a couple years with these idiots, and I just go, oh, my God.
Again?
Really? Everyone here is huge, and you're drunk and not huge.
You got a different face, but you're the same guy from last week.
Yeah. Literally, this guy's like 300 pounds and be like, I'm going to make him pick you up and toss you somewhere. What is wrong with you? How dumb are you, man?
Why do you keep doing this?
This is not smart.
You got a different name, different face, but you're the same guy.
Same guy. You're all the same.
Before.
You're all the same. So now the witnesses say that Terrell Suggs stepped in as a peacemaker trying to calm the situation.
Right.
But Cook began pushing and trying to punch Donald Suggs over Terrell.
Around.
I don't know about that. I don't know how this is my thing. This isn't at a bar. If this was a bar at 2 a.m, I buy it
for sure.
1,000% that this happened. Just like that. But if this is after a basketball tournament at Phoenix Muni, I don't feel like someone is quite intoxicated enough to take a swing around Terrell Suggs.
Yeah, the alcohol content of Gatorade isn't that high.
It's not. Like at 2 a.m, you'd be like, man, fuck that guy. He's not doing shit.
He ain't that big.
He's not that. Fuck, he don't want to do shit because he don't want to fuck up his NFL shit. He'll let me kick his brother's ass, I'm sure. And then he's flying through the air. He's splashing jizz on you afterwards.
I could see Terrell, too, as the biggest guy on the court, just putting a stiff hand out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch it, like touching somebody.
Yeah.
That invites, too, you know what I mean? That's instigating as fuck.
I mean, even if it's a calming thing, who knows? With crazy people, you don't know, because the other guy could be a nut. That's the problem.
That's the thing about crazy.
That Phoenix guy, you don't know what he's doing. So they said that apparently he tried to step in. The witnesses said that Terrell finally punched Cook in self-defense, then got bashed over the head by Henry, who had a rebar, who's his friend. That's Cook's friend. They said that Suggs helped get the rebar away from it. Like, he turned around like, give me that, you motherfucker. How dare you?
It bent around his head.
Yeah, it's just the shape of Suggs' head. So they also had all sorts of back and forth, these two sides. The allegations and all this type of shit, allegations that the one side was trying to squeeze a financial settlement from this guy, and then allegations back the other way saying that he's trying to get away with it because he's getting in the NFL. It's a lot here. There's no charges for a while. There's an investigation, apparently. The cops said it was an unfinished investigation and they weren't sure who they were going to charge or if they were going to charge anybody at this point. So the detectives now, as they go into it, operate on a theory that Donald Suggs and his cousin Rico might be charged with felony assault, while Terrell might face a misdemeanor complaint there as this is going on. They had all these transcripts, photographs. This is the largest investigation of a fight outside a basketball court where no one was seriously injured or killed that I've ever fucking heard of.
I remember pictures of these two dipshits' faces in the news, too.
Oh, yeah.
With his bloody face.
Complaining.
And his two black eyes. And
look, man, if you get in a fight outside at a basketball court and no one is, like, seriously injured, you got in a fight. Move the fuck on. Don't run your fucking mouth next time. How about that?
It sounds like you could have.
Shut the fuck up.
Also, you don't. Who faces Terrell Suggs in a heads-up fight at 145? You're mismatched.
If you do that, you fucking deserve it. You're not an intelligent person.
Yeah.
If you got that's like Grizzly Man. Remember Grizzly Man?
Yeah.
The documentary?
Right.
You watch the whole thing and you're like, what's going on? And then he gets eaten, and I didn't even feel bad. No. I didn't want the guy to get eaten, but I went, well, yeah, that makes sense. How many fucking times can you literally poke a bear? Remember the other friend, don't poke the bear? Right. He's literally like, how you doing, pal? Give me a Pillsbury Doughboy. Here, giggle for me. He's poking him in the fucking stomach. Stop doing that.
They told me that a man pitched a tent in the wilderness near bears and followed them. And I was like, he didn't get eaten? They're like, oh, he got eaten.
Oh, eventually
well, of course he got eaten.
About an hour and a half in,
what are we talking about?
Yeah.
You pushed Terrell Suggs. You didn't get punched? Oh, I got punched. Of course you got punched. What are you talking about?
I'd like my chances against a bear more because I could probably maybe trick a bear or something. Terrell's he's smart. He's just going to keep coming at me and beat my ass.
I think the forest ranger, if you said I shot a bear, they'd be less angry about you shooting the bear than the fact, that you're alive.
Well, yeah, they'd be like, oh, at least he didn't maul you.
Was he attacking you? He was. Well, then good. But you can't shoot a person. You can't just do that.
No. So they're opposing lawyers are going back and forth. The Phoenix police said that Suggs failed to cooperate by dodging interviews. So I don't know if he's busy or what, but yeah, he's this guy, the lawyer contends that Suggs agreed to be questioned, but that the detective sabotaged that agreement with, quote, patently false claims that he was avoiding it.
Okay.
So the police didn't comment about that. And Suggs had 40 times that were slower than expected, and that was a big deal. Yeah. He's a defensive lineman.
He's packing weight on.
And who cares?
Right.
I don't give a shit what a fucking linebacker or lineman's 40 time is. I care about how fast can he get from where he's standing to the quarterback. Yeah. That's the part that matters.
Right.
Not if he picks up speed after 26 yards.
Right.
When the fuck do you need your defensive lineman to run 26 yards?
He's generally
twice a season.
He's generally playing in a 26-yard window.
That's it.
If he starts getting up to max speed after that, that's a problem.
40's irrelevant.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't need one of these cars that picks up speed. He's got to go from 0 to 60. That's what's important here. So that's such bullshit. That's like Jerry Rice was the opposite. Yeah. Like they said, his 40 time wasn't that great, but. After 40, he would fucking pull away from you like a Ferrari. Like you couldn't get anywher near him. That's a different kind of speed.
Like DK Metcalf. That guy is a freak.
Can't catch a guy like
that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So he, what was I doing? Okay, yes. They said that patently false. He's not doing that. Now, Suggs said about the fight, quote, it blew up to be bigger than what it was. Just blew up. It's not that big of a deal. Well, we'll find out in the draft if everyone else thinks it's a big deal. 2003 NFL draft. Jimmie, number 1 pick.
2003. Was that Adrian Peterson?
It was not Adrian Peterson.
Oh, I was close.
Carson Palmer.
Oh, Jesus. How'd that work out,
Cincinnati? Well, they went to the playoffs a bunch again. That hadn't happened in a while. It was better than Achilles Smith, I think. That's how they would say. Well, better than the last one.
Well, this redhead doesn't work out. Let's dump him and get a different one.
We'll get another one. Yeah. That's it. We need a fair-haired man in here to do something. It's weird. I always liked Jeff Blake when he played for them. Remember Jeff Blake in the late 90s throwing bombs to like Carl Pickens?
That shit was
Detroit
fun.
Too? He got all around the league. He played for Arizona too.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, but Jeff Blake throwing bombs to Carl Pickens back in the day was a fun thing to watch. Anyway, number 2 overall. Jesus, Detroit, you're so bad at picking
Who'd they do? Is it John Kitna?
Charles Rogers.
Oh, what?
Charles Rogers.
Wide receiver?
Played 15 career games.
Oh, my.
And I think he just did he die recently or have a
RODGERS?
Yeah.
Yes, I think he did.
No, ROG, just Rogers.
It's Rogers?
Like
just
Roy
like
Rogers.
Mr.?
Yeah, like Mr. and Roy. I thought of the restaurant. So, and then Andre Johnson was third, the wide receiver. That's a good pick.
Great player.
Very good. Dwayne Robertson for the Jets, defensive tackle. Terrence Newman, who's played for a long fucking time. Byron Leftwich, who's a coach now.
Great coach.
Number 10 overall, Baltimore Ravens pick Terrell Suggs.
At number 10.
At number 10. Now, he's listed as a linebacker. Before him, Robertson got picked, who was a big beast defensive tackle. He was going there no matter what. And then the only thing was maybe would New Orleans have taken him instead of Sullivan was the question. But otherwise, a defensive tackle was taken right before him, Kevin Williams from Minnesota.
No
as well.
kidding.
Yeah.
One of the best. He's great.
They could have had also 16 in the draft was Troy Polamalu.
Wow.
Which the Steelers got in mid-first round.
Hall of Famer.
Mid-first round swiping. Jesus, the Bears picked Rex Grossman. Fuck me, man.
Ouch.
Oh, you know what? We just talked about this draft because number 27 overall was Larry Johnson.
No shit.
So we just talked about this draft last time we did it, and you already forgot Carson Palmer was the number one pick in the 2003 draft. So 2003.
That was fast.
That was real fast,
4 weeks.
Jimmy. Wow. He plays in Baltimore, and the team goes 10-6.
Yes, they do.
And then we'll talk about a little about them. Brian Billick is the head coach.
Yep.
They had won the Super Bowl a couple years before that,
right.
and we're kind of trying to rebuild the whole thing. Like we said,
right.
win the Super Bowl, you're putting all your chips out there.
Blow it up and do it again.
This is Jamal Lewis and all those guys. Todd Heap of Crap.
Yep. That guy's good.
Yeah. No, he's an ASU guy. That's why you say that.
It's a great tight end, though. He played for
when he
15
played
years?
ever
14 years.
He
was
played
injured
like
a lot.
6 seasons worth of games in all those times. Yeah, he was good. He was good,
Really
when
good.
he was out
Yeah.
there. That's the famous one of Brian Billick making fun of him on the what the fuck is the show? Hard Knocks show,
yeah.
where he said, well, he fucked something up some play, and he goes, you know what they say, everybody. Some guys go to college and some guys go to ASU. And he just turned around and walked away. You just see Todd drop his head. That's a real saying in the fucking NFL. Some guys go to college, some guys go to ASU. Even in the NFL, where, intellectualism doesn't run rampant,
Right.
they're like, Jesus Christ, could you fucking go somewhere that's not that dumb, for Christ's sake? Can't you go to, like, fucking Ole Miss or some shithole like that? I don't know.
ASU is the Alabama public education system.
Go to TCU, for shit's sake. I don't care. Something. Anyway, team's 10-6 that year. Kyle Bowler is the starting quarterback for 9 of the games, and then the other 7 games were started by Anthony Wright.
What? Who?
Anthony Wright. Remember him? I think he played for the Browns for a while, too.
No.
And he got around. Number 2, he was like a thin guy. And then Kyle Bowler was just Kyle Bowler.
The most milquetoast son of a bitch ever.
Not real great here.
No.
What is it? Bowler had 9 picks. Anthony Wright had 8 picks.
Oh.
8? Wow. So total touchdowns 16, total picks 17 from there.
They threw 17 picks and went 10-6?
Went 10-6. There was a defense running.
Yeah.
They had Jamal Lewis. They just handed it off
Yeah.
every goddamn
And they get
down.
to play Cleveland 2 times a year.
That helped.
That helps a
Yeah,
lot.
that helped a
They
lot.
were shitty as hell.
Oh, good.
back
They're
then.
coming back in the league. Perfect. So Terrell that year only plays in only starts in that's the playoffs. Never mind. What am I doing? Where is his stats? Yeah. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, no, Terrell has a good goddamn rookie season, actually. It's not too shabby at all. He has a sack in each of his first 4 games, which is an NFL record.
Really?
He tied it, yeah. He finished the season with 27 tackles, 12 sacks, which was a Ravens rookie record, 6 forced fumbles, 2 pass deflections, and an interception.
Wow.
He ended up being the defensive rookie of the year.
Wow.
Only started 1 game, by the way.
Is that right?
And was defensive rookie of the year, so...
That's
definitely,
incredible.
he definitely made his presence known. And on that defense, it was like, Jesus, they didn't need another one like that. That was a brutal defense. They were great. So, good for them. The team, yes, they go to the playoffs that year and lose 20-17 to the Titans in the wild card round. Now, December of 2003. In the middle of the season, he's charged with aggravated assault.
Is that right?
Stemming from that fight. Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
from the fight.
From the fight in March. It was, he's
Aggravated.
Aggravated assault. I mean, that's probably trying to get a plea deal out of him, I would think. But there's some accusations that he did some stuff with a bat and he had a rebar. There's a lot of accusations here. It was claimed that he swung and broke a guy's nose and cheekbone. He's charged with felony aggravated assault. And the Ravens vice president said that he, quote, he went to Arizona to meet with authorities. He's handling the situation, and we expect him back. So he's expected to appear at a hearing 2 days after the AFC Championship game, which they don't make anyway, so who gives a shit? He does make that year, and I'm going to say what he actually made, because some of these contracts, the cash is spread out. I'm going to say, how much cash did he receive that year?
Okay.
$4,150,000.
That's a payday.
That's not bad.
There is no more.
That feels good.
There's no more New York food court eating there.
Yeah, that's that's good.
Shit.
No more going to the fucking Wiener Schnitzel and out. So 2004, they're 9-7, no playoffs. Mm-hmm. He starts all 16 games that year, though. This is when he came into his own, and very good, 10.5 sacks. Yep. He's a good player. He's a beast. He's disruptive.
Yeah.
Disruptive on the field, not to the not like
disrupts offenses everywhere.
He's disruptive on the field, not like in the locker room or anything like that. He makes the Pro Bowl this year in his second year.
Wow,
not bad, and he makes $4,555,000.
That buys a lot of Arizona.
Man, he's got $9 million he's made already. Almost.
Man.
That's not bad. So it's going well.
It is.
So the off season for the 2004, now it's 2005.
Yep.
Right before the old summer, they go in for summer workouts and shit. June of 2005 is in court for the assault. And he said the guy's name was Jeremy, but Jerryme.
Ew.
Jeremy.
Yuck.
Cook. He said that he saw the punch coming from Terrell Suggs. Yeah. And he said the next thing he remembered, he was just beaten and bloodied, and a friend was picking him up off the ground. Cook said in court, quote, "I was gone," describing a knockout punch. He was just totally knocked out. Suggs, by the way, he's standing trial on 2 counts of aggravated assault. He's facing a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison if convicted on both.
Holy shit.
So not even a judge can give him 6 months and suspended. He's a mandatory 5-year minimum if he's convicted on both. That's a lot.
Unbelievable.
This is high stakes at this point here. This isn't fucking funny anymore for him. So according to Cook, the fight began when words were exchanged between Cook and Rico Suggs, who's his cousin, Terrell's cousin, but then they went their separate ways. He said later on, Terrell showed up courtside of the game that Cook and his friends were playing and that him and his friends were watching. Apparently, Terrell had a baseball bat on his shoulder. And
do you know how to play basketball, sir?
I don't give a shit. Fuck this sport. I play different.
Yeah.
And he was with Rico and his teenage brother, because his brother's like 17, Donald, and 2 other guys. He said after exchanging words with Suggs, Cook and his friends walked away, but the Suggs group kept following them around the tournament grounds and eventually to the parking lot, where Cook said he figured he was going to have to fight Rico Suggs. And then Cook, at one point, he said Terrell handed his kid brother the bat and said, if anybody jumps in, you swing the bat to kill, not to hurt. That's the court testimony.
Wow.
Now, defense witnesses said Cook was the aggressor against Terrell Suggs and that Suggs acted in self-defense. Suggs said that he and Cook were actually good friends as kids. They went to high school together.
He knows him.
He knows him well. He said they went to high school together. He said they were friends as kids. Good friends, used to stay at each other's houses all the time as kids.
Oh, this is weird.
This is getting so fucking weird. He said, that used to be my best friend, is what Terrell says.
What?
What the fuck? So why, unless he did something to me, would I try to harm him?
Great point.
That makes a lot of sense to me. That also makes a lot of sense. It sounds like maybe this guy was like pissy about. Yeah. I don't know what it. I wasn't there.
Perhaps he's not quite the athletic prowess. Who
That's
knows?
what I mean. Jealous and pissed off, or I think you're a big shot now. One of those. You know what I mean? You think you're better than me?
We used to watch Zubilee Zoo in our underoos.
Yeah.
You calm down.
You calm down. Fucking jerk. I'm picturing he's drunk. Only a drunk person would do this. Only a drunk person would fight a man.
This is not sober behavior.
No, literally twice your size.
Right.
No, that's
not sober behavior.
Not sober behavior whatsoever. This is like, no, let's do that. By the way, let's go look for a girl on the street. I got some cash.
I'm not afraid of you.
That's the same level of thought.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Thought process. So they said that's what happened. He said, why would I harm him? Then I guess Donald Suggs stuck the bat close to Cook's face, like he put it out.
Yeah.
And Cook said that he swatted the bat away with his hand, and he said one of his friends was getting all hyped up. And then he said he saw Terrell Suggs take a swing, punch him in his nose and cheekbone, and that's what, messed him up. So Suggs' attorney found inconsistencies between his testimony and his original statements to police. Things have, been made to fit a little better, I guess, there. And Cook told police Donald Suggs brought the bat to the courtside confrontation, that he never saw Suggs swing at him. And then later on, he says he saw Suggs come up with the bat and then ceremonially hand it over to his brother with words of advice on how to use it. He told jurors in opening statements that the three accusers demanded $2 million to settle the matter just a few days after the fight. Mm-hmm. So after the fight, they were like, you just give us $2 million and we'll stop. Mm-hmm. And he was like, no.
That ain't how it works.
That ain't how it works. So Cook said he hired the lawyer for protection and for justice. But he knows nothing about the offer, and maybe his attorney must have made it without his knowledge. He doesn't know anything about that. The judge said there that that would be an ethical violation, and that if that's the case, it's an ethical violation, and he would turn Cook's lawyer over to the state bar.
Yeah.
So your accusations have a lot of weight here. Now, verdict comes in. It's a 2-week trial.
Yeah. It took a while.
For a fight outside a fucking uni basketball court?
But that's what happens when the water gets muddy like
Jesus
this, though.
Christ.
When money starts that kind of money, and in 2000, 2001, that's
even more money.
Sick amount of money.
That's even more money,
And there was the frivolous lawsuit laws that were that were happening then. So this is a big deal.
Well, the verdict comes in after a day and a half of deliberations. Wow. This isn't like an hour of anything. This is
took the whole thing dead-ass serious.
You're shitting your pants over here. The jury comes back and says not guilty of assault of Suggs here. And this is like 2 years later.
Yeah.
Suggs says, quote, I wasn't shocked when I heard the verdict because you all have watched me grow up here. He's talking to the Arizona media. I've never once been in trouble.
Wow.
Yeah. He said that the accuser, his ex-friend, was trying to lay the groundwork to sue for damages. And so he said it's ridiculous. He said, quote, we played the Arizona SWAT team basketball team. We used to spend the night at each other's houses. He went one way, he walked one path, and I walked another.
Can you imagine
about his friend?
Like knowing that guy, and like what if you run into him later and the thrill of being able to talk to your friend after they've done such a great job.
Now you've ruined it.
You've ruined that over the chance of suing him later.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
No, it's fucking silly.
Horrible.
And the jury also, Donald Suggs, by the way, is up on 2 counts of aggravated assault as well, and they find him not guilty as well
of course.
Of aggravated assault. And the jury said that one of the jurors said the guilt beyond a reasonable doubt was not established to them. That's all it was. It's a fight obviously happened, but for us to definitely know what happened and put people in jail for it seems a little much.
There's no video.
No, that's the thing. Right. He said a mutual friend of Suggs and Cook's testified Cook told him that he was planning to sue for big money. And
that's
so there you go. Juror Richard Tudor thought the police work was ambiguous, he said. So Wasn't real impressed with that.
Yeah.
He said charges could have gone either way on it. The case wasn't investigated enough to prove it either way. It's supposed to be guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and they just couldn't prove that. And the jury forewoman said there was just too much contradicting information.
Right.
Yeah, it's he said, she said, and no, there's no in between.
It's ugly.
So what are you supposed to do here? Terrell said that he had no doubt that his brother was going to be found not guilty as well. He was happy about it. He said, he said, quote, I have never once been in trouble. I've never shown the character they tried to portray me. I'm the biggest kid you guys know. I'm a fun-loving guy. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, remember
He's
that.
He's going to be very fun-loving in a little while here.
JC should have just waited a little bit. I'm sure there was time to sue him for something else later on down the road. Be a friend.
Be a friend for now. Yeah. Wait till he's in the league 5 years and then really fuck him over like some people actually do to these guys. So a lawyer said, quote, I don't know what the moving force was here. This is Suggs' lawyer. The case should have never gone to trial. It should have never it should have never been charged. Terrell gets charged trying to break this thing up. As I've often said, no good deed goes unpunished.
Okay. Oh, my. That's a lawyer.
Yeah. He doesn't have to be a hero out of the thing. Just that he didn't say to beat a man with a baseball bat's plenty.
Right.
I'm fine with that. I don't need him to be Mother Teresa over here.
No good deed.
So training camp comes around for football, and he's been in court the whole last 3 weeks. So he said he can't wait for football to start now.
I'm sure.
He said the threat of football being taken away from you, you appreciate it even more. And he said he hates court. He said, I prefer 2-a-days to any day here in court. You can give me 6-a-days over prison. 2-a-days, if you don't know, means 2 practices in a day.
Right in a row.
And this is in the heat. And it's summertime, very intense shit conditioning. I don't even think they're allowed to do 2-a-days anymore.
Coach Snyder was storied for him, but he would make him do indoor one and then outdoor the other.
Well, like, what's his name? The other one.
The ugly guy?
No, the goddamn... Oh, my God. How is this slipping my mind?
ASU coach?
ASU coach from the fucking 70s, 80s.
Oh, the guy that the stadium is named after.
Yeah. I hate ASU. Guy. I don't care. That
White?
Guy. Frieder.
Frieder.
No, not Frieder.
Frieder's
not Frieder.
the ASU
no, that's
football
the
coach.
Yeah, football. I'm talking about football.
Is it White? Is it Danny?
No, it's not Danny White. I'm talking from back in the day.
Oh.
He went on... Frank Cush
Frank Cush Field.
Thank you.
That's what
Cush.
it is.
Frank Cush. Frank Cush was famous for, like, death 2-a-days.
Just
in the Arizona sun, they'd make him run up the fucking mountains.
Running a mountain?
It was crazy.
Oh,
so
my.
He was known for that. And the guys would, these death
throwing
marches.
up?
Yeah, so he said, but they don't even think they're allowed to do that anymore.
Probably not.
Better than going to prison, definitely. Yeah. So 2005 Ravens go 6-10. Not very good anymore here. He starts all 16 games, does well, only has 8 sacks, but he's a force, and now they know to fucking pay attention to him too. So it's a little bit different. He no Pro Bowl this year, which is weird. In 2005, their new defensive coordinator is Rex Ryan, future Jets coach and punchline of many, many jokes. And I saw him on the Super Bowl last night sitting there.
King foot fetish himself.
That's the guy. He moved him from right outside linebacker to defensive end in many of the schemes. He made him kind of go around and kind of be a hybrid guy.
Yeah.
And he had 8 sacks, but he had a career high in tackles.
He
had 2 interceptions as well. So it's kind of made him a more versatile guy. Now he's gotten paid front end on all of his contract here, so he makes $405,000 this year. Okay. I would hope he saves some of the $9 million he already made.
Don't live like you're going to make $9 million every 2 years.
No, although he'll start definitely doing that. 2006 Ravens are 13-3.
Oh.
So totally huge turnaround here. They end up losing to the Colts, though, in the divisional round.
Can you imagine?
That's rough. 15-6 is the score of the game, too. Which God. I remember, I believe that was a weird score that hadn't happened in like 50 years or something.
Was it all field goals?
15-6. It might have been 15.
That's ugly.
It sounds like it, or missed extra points, but that just sounds like a real fucking boring game.
Truly.
A lot of field goals. So... anyway, that's what happens to them. They were the best overall defense in the league that year, though.
Peyton Manning beat them.
And they beat, with 15 points.
Unbelievable.
You got to be able to score more than 15 points. Like if you're a defense and you give up 15 points, you go, I did everything I could.
We did our job.
I gave up 15 points against Peyton Manning.
Right.
So if I held him to 15 points, you got to score more than 15 points against a Colts defense that was about the strength of wet paper towel.
Well, they had Dwight Freeney there.
They had Freeney, yeah, but that D was not known for...
No, not stifling defense.
No, they were known for 41-28 wins.
It's not the 85 Bears.
Not at all. No, it's definitely not the purple people eaters or the orange crush or any other fucking color defense from any other time in history.
Yeah.
So he got 64 tackles, 9.5 sacks, and set a new career high in pass deflections with 8, and he's voted to the Pro Bowl as well.
That's a fascinating stat.
Yeah. Well, pass deflections?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Knocking down 8 balls.
That one?
They counted those
for a while.
The 90s, I think. They started with that. They only gave up 12.6 points a game, though, which is...
Oh. My,
that's stifling.
Yeah,
I mean, you can win even if your offense sucks if you're giving up 12.6 points.
Wins championships for sure.
It did for them a couple times. So he makes the Pro Bowl that year, like we said, and good stuff. $500,000 he makes that year.
Oh.
So yeah, like you said, he got a lot of his money up front.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, that's how it worked. That's the actual cash he went, but like. On the cap, it was different.
Right.
So if they told you what his salary was, it would probably be his cap number, not his actual. This is actual cash he made.
Yeah.
2007, they go 5-11. Wow.
What?
13-3, 5-11.
Ouch.
That's rough. That's a snapback there, man. He starts all 16 games. So far, since his second season, he's only not started one game.
Really?
Every other game he started. So he's doing well. Only 5 sacks this year, but he's still disruptive and a force. He does make $5,025,000 this year, though.
Did he got a
re-up? There's a re-up, yeah. So now the next year, I think it was a 1-year deal because then there was something to it, or that might have been that was the balloon payment at the end.
Yeah,
because that way they could cut him before that and not have to pay him if he didn't work out.
Right.
But they wanted to keep him.
Sure.
So 2008, they decide we got to hang on to this guy. They placed the franchise tag on him before the 2008 season.
Yeah.
He filed a grievance because the team had designated him as a linebacker with the franchise tag rather than a defensive end at the franchise tag, which resulted in a monetary difference of about $800,000.
Ooh.
If you don't know sport, this is a kind of a weird particular of the NFL contracts. The way it works is teams can put a franchise tag on somebody. Right. It's the way for a team to be able to keep a guy at least for one more year who's like their big star.
Right.
So
he's our guy. We can market the whole team around him.
Exactly. You can pick one guy, put a franchise tag on him, and he's not allowed to go anywhere now. Now he's even if he was a free agent, now he's stuck that year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to pay him the average salary of the top 5 paid players at that position.
Right.
So that's how it works. So if you franchise tag a quarterback, you're paying him $25 million that year at least. So, it's any position. You can pay top end, but defensive ends make more than linebackers generally.
Okay.
So that's why there's a difference in salary. The top 5 defensive ends make more than the top 5 linebackers.
Yep.
So he's pissed that they classified him as a linebacker. So he said he's unhappy with the franchise tag, but he still reported, even though he filed grievances, to the off-season minicamps, to practice, and everything like that. So in a couple months, they reach an agreement to split the difference of franchise tag amounts.
Okay.
So they'll give him an extra $400,000
okay.
if he drops his grievance. Yeah. So he was like, fine, fuck it. That's good enough. 2008, they go 11-5.
Okay, not bad.
This is the first year of John Harbaugh coming in. This is Brian Billick left, and he's been on TV ever since, I think, right?
Yeah.
This is big retirement.
And they've got Ray Lewis now, right?
They still have. They've had
him
Lewis
for the whole time?
Oh, yeah. He was on the Super Bowl team from 2000.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Remember the murder that happened around him?
That's right.
I don't think he did anything at all in that, by the way.
I think he was certainly involved.
I think he saw it. I don't think he was like, let's stab that guy. He was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that guy got
is that
stabbed.
guy bleeding?
Let's go now. I don't want to be involved in this shit. I got to play the Super Bowl.
Right.
Which is probably what I would have done too, I think, maybe at that point. So 2008, they go 11-5. This year in the playoffs, they win in the wild card round against the Dolphins, 27-9.
Yeah.
They beat the Titans 13-10 in a squeaker there, and then they face the Steelers in the championship game and lose 23-14.
What are you going to do?
Steelers
were a goddamn team.
They were tough on them in the playoffs too. This year, he starts all 16 games. He has 8 sacks, Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Pretty goddamn good.
Nothing to sniff at.
Not too shabby at all. No, he has does well. 2 interceptions even, a lot of forced fumbles. He's all right. In the playoffs, he recorded sacks in all 3 of the games.
Wow.
Including 2 in the championship game.
That's awesome.
And, not too bad here. Suggs has sacked the shit out of Roethlisberger over the years.
Yeah, he gets to play him twice a year.
He gets to play him twice a year, and for some reason he had
only 3 sometimes because they get him in the playoffs and then he gets him again. Ben is susceptible to that end also. I believe did he play the blind side position?
Suggs, they moved Suggs all around
moved
too.
Him all over the place.
He was like they did like an Lawrence Taylor thing, except on in the end sometimes.
God, was he good?
And I don't know if maybe Ben really enunciated his words, and Suggs was able to read his lips better. Ben you can see when he talks, boy, it's good. So this year he signs a new car. I'm sorry, this is the franchise year. He makes $8,475,000 this year.
My God,
which sounds great, but the problem with the franchise is you're not getting like a signing bonus of a big, giant, long deal. So if you got hurt that year, that's the only money you're making now. So that's what hurts. 2009, they franchise him again and do it again to this guy. He's like, fuck, I just want a long-term deal here. But they change their minds, and eventually they work out on July 15th, 2009. He signs a 6-year, $62.5 million contract. His bonus money, $33.1 million.
Oh, my word.
Highest paid linebacker in history at the time.
Unbelievable.
That's a shitload of money, man.
Standing right next to Ray Lewis.
Right there. That's amazing.
And Ray's proud of him and happy for him because they were like...
Oh, Ray was making bank, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was making money, too.
And Ray helped create what he is, for sure.
Absolutely. And Ray was the type of guy, because he was their signature player. He was probably like a favored nations type of guy where, like, if they pay Suggs this, they know they got to pay Ray more the next time. You know what I mean? Like,
Ray's worth more.
Or at least the same. He's not going to be, slighted on his own team.
I got better teeth.
Yeah, come on now. Do commercials and shit. And he does.
Yeah.
9-7 they go in 2009. The team, they beat the Patriots in the wild card round that year. That was right. That was the year that wasn't Brady get hurt in like the second game of the year or something, blew his knee out, and they brought back Matt Castle.
Oh, that's what it is.
They went like 10-6 or 11-7.
Yeah.
So they beat them and then lose to the Colts again in the divisional round, 20-3 this time.
That was so good.
Peyton was tough around those years. So that year, he plays and starts in 13 games, 4.5 sacks, kind of has a down year that year. And there's a reason for that. Because in the middle of the year, in November, which is right smack in the middle of the football season, some stuff started to come out that was not good for him in public, mainly and pretty much exclusively from his girlfriend at the time, Candace Williams.
Oh, Candace.
They, by the way, have a 2-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son together at this moment in time, not named after him, by the way.
That's good.
No junior.
Yeah.
She alleges that he threw a soap dispenser at her head and then hit her in the chest with his hand and held a bottle, this is the big accusation, held a bottle of bleach over her and their 1-year-old son while she was holding him.
Oh, that's too much.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
A throw of a dispenser, a hit in the chest, and threatening to pour bleach on you and your child that's a lot.
I'd love to know what that stems from.
That's a lot.
Who searched whose phone?
This is something here. Yeah. So, it says it started over... This is the beef that started allegedly over game tickets.
What?
Her wanting tickets to a game, and
he said, "I'll bleach you."
I will. Yeah, you're not coming unless you're blonde. I don't know what it is.
What is that?
And the baby too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the accusation is, but apparently it was. It's really weird. One of the complaints here, or the complaint that she filed, says that Suggs threw the soap dispenser, hit her on the chest with his hand, held a bottle of bleach over them, which then spilled on them and caused a rash on her and the baby. Okay. And so the district court judge wrote that a laceration was visible on her chest as well. She wrote that the altercation occurred at 5:15 p.m., so this is like, early dinner hour here. This is, and in the presence of Suggs' cousin and his best friend as well were there.
Jesus.
That's weird. And Suggs told her he had 2 tickets for the Ravens game that evening against the Steelers in Baltimore that she had requested, but became angry that he did not know who the tickets were for. It's like, I got you tickets, and he said he was mad. She said he was mad because he didn't know who she was giving them to.
Okay.
I guess. She said that they stopped yelling and teased each other, and she thought the argument was over. Then she said she teased him while he was in the bathroom, and she went to close the door, and then he, quote, stiff-armed the door, she says. Mm-hmm. She said, quote, so me, still thinking he's playing, I kick with the top of my foot his arm off the door to close it.
What?
The whole time laughing, thinking we were playing, and he throws the bathroom soap thing at my head.
She threw a kick as high as an arm and thought we were playing?
Be like, she said we were laughing.
The door and I want to know what the words are. What are the teases?
That's the thing. What are we talking about teasing?
Short dick motherfucker or something.
I don't know what teasing. Ugly faced. Fucking
stupid bitch.
Yeah.
These are not teases.
No,
these are instigating words.
I don't know, and I don't know what the relationship is, because some people say funny shit to each other that sounds mean. That's not mean. You know, Sarah calls me names all the time as a joke, and I'll say stuff back, but we don't mean it.
I'm going to get lunch. What do you want? I don't want anything. You're a fart and a half.
Yeah.
I'm getting you a sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. That's all. We're joking.
The most fascinating text messages I've ever been a group text fart on.
But there's no kicking involved ever. That's the thing. We draw the line.
Arm height kicks, James. That's high.
Well, Sarah would have to stand on something to kick my arm out from that. She's very short. But yeah, that'd be a jump for her. But still.
That's a kick.
There's
That's crazy.
You've passed. What is that?
Too much.
So apparently, she said that she said that he said, oh my God, Suggs said she hurt his arm by kicking it and began yelling obscenities at her. Mm-hmm. That's what she claims. And she says that he spat on her chest as well.
Oh,
he spit. That's a lot.
That's the most degrading thing.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. So she wrote that she heard one of Suggs's friends who was present there say, quote, oh no, Sis, come on, don't do that. Sis, come on. So when she turned around, according to the complaint, he knocked her to the ground and sat on top of her, grabbing her neck and holding an open bottle of bleach over her. So this wasn't like she was standing somewhere. Yeah. She's not saying he was holding it over her head. She's saying knocked her down, sat on her, and held a bottle of bleach over her. She wrote that Suggs used an obscenity and said he was going to drown her with this bleach.
Oh, my.
Wow. This is not funny. This is a joke.
This isn't playful at all.
This is not playful, no.
I'm failing to find the punchline. I'm pretty good at those.
Where's the humor here? I'm looking for it. It's not ironic.
No.
It's not like performance art like Andy Kaufman.
No.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
This isn't mimicking a celebrity fight. I don't know I don't know where this fight comes from.
It's not satire. We'll put it that way.
And I'll give them this. I've never dated an NFL player, so I don't
That's
know
true.
if this is NFL love.
Different humor? I don't know.
Is this AFC love?
So she put her hands over the cap, she said, but the cleaner spilled onto her and their son, and then he told her to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And he got dressed and left for the game.
Jesus Christ.
So there's an area in the complaint where they're asked to describe past injuries. She lists busted lips, broken nose, black eyes, and bruises from the past with him, she says. She asked the court to tell him to go to domestic violence counseling and pay emergency family maintenance costs. Yeah. He did. That's when he did not travel to Green Bay for the games. This is why he missed 3 games this year, because he was being accused of pouring fucking bleach on his girlfriend and child.
This isn't just domestic violence. This is terrorism.
That's fucking
this is crazy.
Torturous shit. That's crazy. If that's true, it's awful.
Is heightened.
Absolutely. We don't know if it's true, but if it is, it's fucking terrible. So, it's been a lot. So I guess she then, a couple days later, files a $70 million lawsuit against him.
Jesus.
She's seeking $20 million in compensatory damages and $50 million in punitive damages. Wow. She said that she and Suggs are, quote, unable to effectively communicate as to the major issues regarding the minor children. If there's bleach involved, that's not much of a conversation. She says this is due to Suggs' irrational and violent tendencies. She seeks child support and says that Suggs earns over $20 million a year and should be required to pay child support. Doesn't make $20 million a year, but still.
Doesn't matter what money he makes.
Should be able to pay child. Yeah. You don't have to.
We don't have to talk about the dollar figure.
Makes very good money.
Right.
He should pay some of it to me.
He'll be fine.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
He said at a practice that he had nothing to hide, but he's not able to discuss the case yet, obviously. He said, quote, "I can't talk about it right now. You know I've always been fair. When I can address it, I will. I really have nothing to hide. As bad as I want to talk right now, I can't."
Okay.
So there's that. So she's looking for money. She's also looking for charges. She receives a temporary protective order requiring him to stay away from her and the children and vacate their home as well. So there's that. He ended up suffering a knee injury in a game against the Browns in the middle of all this. Shit. I think he missed the game and then he didn't go to Green Bay either. So when asked again about it by the Baltimore Sun, he said it's a family matter and he would not comment. Yeah. Then he denied he's in a relationship with her at all. Now, we know that they have 2 children together and live in the same home.
That's a relationship.
And he's going to say that's not a relationship. Terrell.
Why?
Says. Says. Come on, buddy.
Define a relationship, Terrell.
That sounds like a relationship. If I'm living with the mother of my children in the same house, we're in some kind of relationship. I don't care if it's a weird one or you're in something with them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So now, will the team support him on this?
Yeah.
Bleach pouring? What do you think? Vice President said the team has a copy of Williams' complaint and reiterated that Suggs will, quote, have a chance to tell his side of the story. Okay. The NFL spokesman, Greg Aiello, said the league would, quote, take a look at it as we would any such matter to try to understand the facts. That's a no, I'm making no statement.
Yep.
Completely neutral, ambiguous. I'll
look at that later.
I'm going to just dance a little over here, then I'm going to do the icky shuffle back to that side. So the Baltimore County Police spokesman said that protective orders are typically initiated after an accuser calls police and is instructed by investigating officers to seek one. Sure. The police had no record of any emergency calls at the home in the past week. They said that many accusers seek a police report to justify the protective order. That's what his lawyer says. That's not what I said. So that's not my. Now, a lot of these women are just saying, yeah, you do that to justify it.
If there ain't no report, what's the emergency?
Yeah, that's a defense attorney. Those seeking protective orders on their own are instructed by court officials that they have the option of filing criminal charges, and police said they do not take action if the petitioner declines. Mm-hmm. If a final protective order is granted by a judge, the police domestic violence coordinators may conduct follow-up investigations as well. But police involvement is not required for a protective order. The director of the Baltimore House of Ruth, which is, I don't know what the hell that is, she said that anyone who has been harmed or is in fear of being harmed is able to visit a district court and fill out a petition to seek for protection. She said there is a high standard of proof involved in such proceedings, so some sort of injuries or something like that. Now, this is John S. Smith. Sounds like an alias after you hear what he says. I think he's just like, I'm John S. Smith. Smith. He's a Glen Burnie-based attorney who specializes in family law, not involved in the Suggs case, just as an attorney off to the side. What do you think? Because the attorneys involved can't comment, right. Whatever, or they only comment for their client. He said accusers often choose not to pursue criminal charges if there are children involved, but he also added that in his 23 years of handling this, he's seen his share of false reports. I've seen a lot of females do this without just cause just to get the guy out of the house, he said.
Is that guy even a lawyer?
I was going to say, while that may be true, I don't know if telling an Arizona Republic reporter with their pen out that is probably the best thing to say.
Seen a lot of females.
Seen a lot of females doing this bullshit to get the guy out of the house. This doesn't sound good.
That guy sounds misogynist as fuck.
Man, so right after this, she changes her mind.
Yeah.
She says she withdraws the $70 million lawsuit, and now they're trying to reconcile the relationship that they're not involved in, like he said, remember?
Reconcile this non-relationship.
Yeah, we're not in a relationship, but I'm going to reconcile. Now I'm interested.
Yeah.
Before, I didn't want to be in a relationship, but her accusing me of pouring bleach on her, suing me for $70 million, something about her. There's a sparkle in her eye when she gets litigic.
Really makes her ass dance.
It dances. She gets a certain bounce in her step, and it's popping, baby.
Holy shit.
So his lawyer, Lynn Hoffman, says that Candace Williams voluntarily withdrew the lawsuit and filed a motion to rescind a protective order she had taken out against him last month. The order was granted, and they were seen hugging outside the courtroom. Oh, God. Man, this is crazy.
That's going to go bad.
I don't know who. Yeah, I don't even know who to believe, because I'm like, I don't want to laugh. I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't even know who's telling the truth here.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're both lying. I don't know what's happening.
But also, he's the same age as I am.
Yeah.
And at that time of my life, I was volatile and weird as fuck, too. And he's doing exactly.
Well, you had less brain damage, so that's the difference.
True, but I was making more brain damage with alcohol.
Yeah.
So, just not
I'm sure he was.
You're right.
He's probably right alongside you on that one, man.
Just not slamming my head into other men.
That's the difference. Adam Schefter reported that the case was dismissed, and that made it dismissed because then everybody believed him. So some reports suggested that he had to pay Williams, but he said that he didn't pay her and won't pay her anything for it. They just came to an agreement, and now they want to be together.
Yeah.
So, Jesus Christ.
Giving her your bank account, sir, is paying her.
Yeah, absolutely. An attorney here, a Warren S. Alperstein, said you can draw your own conclusions relating to someone's motive when they filed a $70 million suit within 20 days of the alleged incident. Would it be better if they filed it later?
Earlier or later?
Whenever they do this with a time thing, it never makes any fucking sense to me. Every goddamn time they do that. Every investigation, it's been a year-long investigation. They're obviously fabricating shit. Or they'll be like, they arrested us in 2 weeks. That's not a long enough investigation. What's the exact right amount of time?
Where's the sweet spot?
Where's the sweet spot for this? Where's the sweet spot for a murder investigation? Where's the sweet spot for this? When are you supposed to file a lawsuit?
Time isn't. You can argue it either way, no matter what.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, you can use either one to your advantage. So they said they filed a $70 million lawsuit within 20 days. He's eager to move on and resume his relationship with his children, which he's been deprived of.
Okay.
So Williams alleged, like we said, the whole deal with, Jesus, over game tickets. My God. That's... Either way, that's a silly reason to even have an argument, never mind a fight.
Who are they going to? Who's that? Why are you doing that? Who cares? She's impressing somebody.
Yeah.
With you. You're the one that's impressing these people.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's the ego stroke alone.
Yeah, and I need to know who's going. Like, well, who cares?
Why?
Who's going? What do you give a shit? I mean, is she giving it to... Unless she's going with a guy she's going to fuck,
Right.
what do you care?
Are you worried she's blowing somebody in Section 222?
I don't want you giving them to your bitch-ass sister, because she's
She's the worst.
She came over on the 4th of July. She shit on the floor. Remember that? That's how drunk she got. There was a turd on the bathroom floor. I don't care whether she admitted to it or not. It was hers. It was a feminine turd, and I saw her eating corn earlier in the day. Shut the fuck up.
Tight tapers,
Your
both
sister.
ends. It was hers.
That's how she does it. Trust me. I know things. So she... in this here, Suggs agreed to stay away at one point, and then he's going to pay her... at the time that they had the disagreement there, he was paying her $35,000 a month to cover expenses for the children.
Jesus.
They agreed to joint custody, worked out a schedule and all that, but then it's a different deal here. He wants to. She pushed for the use of an $800,000 Windsor Mill home owned by Suggs's mother, where they lived after flood damaged his home. But she settled for use of his 2008 Hummer, which I actually found a picture of because
I want that house, but I'll take the car.
I'll just live in the Hummer, I guess. Suggs' attorney viewed the agreement as a victory, and the Ravens vice president says, we're pleased he got to tell his side of the story. So there you go. Came full circle.
We could play some football.
Yeah. At the conclusion, Laverne Suggs approached Williams and asked for a hug. Williams, who appeared upset, backed away from her and shook her head. So
didn't even hug Grandma?
Wouldn't hug his mom.
What the
She
fuck?
said, let's make up, here's a hug, and she said no, and then he's that's fucking crazy. One of Suggs' associates could be heard saying, quote, "Cry me a river." This is fucking hilarious, man. What a mess.
This family's so fucked up.
It's a mess. I don't know who to believe. I don't know what to do. I hope there's no bleach involved. Let's just say that. He makes, though, that year, $15.1 million.
Oh, boy.
$15,100,000.
That'll create some turbulence.
That'll make you happy. Now, another thing Terrell isn't great at, great at football, great at a lot of things, not good at driving.
No?
Not according to his police record with driving. He's not good. He gets it. I found a lot of tickets, and he's got no license for a long time.
What?
He's still driving around. He gets cited for stopping on the sidewalk in Chandler.
What?
You got to be on the sidewalk in Chandler to get in trouble for some shit like that.
People park on the sidewalk. You got to park the whole thing there.
Yeah, I just put it up. It was shadier, so I just put it on the sidewalk. This is in 2010 that happens. 2010 in Baltimore, they go 12-4.
Is that right?
Absolutely. They win the wild card round against the Chiefs 30-7 and lose to the Steelers 31-24 every fucking year. So he starts all 16 games that year, has 11 sacks, makes the Pro Bowl. Yeah. He's back, baby. Yeah. $24,900,000 he makes that year. Wow.
Oh, that's staggering.
That is $30 million in 2 seasons.
That is...
Or 40, I'm sorry, $40 million in 2 seasons.
Holy shit.
Remarkable. Wow.
That's so much money.
Knocked the wind out of me. So 2011, he is ticketed for driving with a speed that's not reasonable or prudent. I don't know what must have been in like a...
That's an Arizona ticket.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Does that mean it was raining or something?
I don't know. It can mean anything. That could mean the police think that you shouldn't be driving that based on fucking any variable.
I've heard that with someone had like a shitty car. They're like, you shouldn't drive that car that fast because it's shitty.
Any variable that the cop deems is unsafe, they can ticket you. It's crazy.
That seems like a silly thing, but he also has no driver's license, so that's a problem. You have to have one of those.
Any speed is not prudent.
Any speed not prudent if you're not licensed to drive the goddamn vehicle. So that's the main issue, I believe.
Gee.
Come on, T-Sizzle. Sis.
Get
come on,
together.
Bud. Come on. So 2011, the Ravens are 12-4, and they beat the Texans in the divisional round, lose in the AFC Championship game to
the Patriots. Yeah,
23-20 too. That was a close one. I remember that. That was rough. I really wanted them to fucking lose, the Patriots. This year, old Sizzle has quite the year. He has 16 games started, forces 7 fumbles, which leads the league, has 14 sacks. He's a beast, man. He's all over the fucking field, just absolute monster. Makes the Pro Bowl and wins Defensive Player of the Year in the entire NFL. Yeah. So, bad motherfucker. For the season. And at the end of the season, he is named, the NFL has their top 100 list every year. He's named number 11 on the top 100 list.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's quarterback territory there. So
that's incredible.
Good for you, pal.
Yeah, each team has a quarterback, which should be their best player.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and he beat at least 20 of those. That's incredible.
Receivers, everything else. He makes $3,400,000. It's at this point, too, where he says he's ready to produce his first film.
Oh, no, don't.
He's ready. He said he met a woman at a festival named Monica Mingo, and she's a film student, a writer, and her husband's a big Ravens fan. Okay. So she heard that Suggs was interested in making movies, and she walked up to him and said, if you're serious, we should get together and talk.
Yeah.
So they do, and they're collaborating on a short film. He says, quote, I was just thinking of a bride being left at the altar and the emotions one would have to go through. Heartbreak, then anger sets in, then disappointment, embarrassment. I kind of wanted to capture all of that.
And then I started laughing because I hate women.
And then I was like, if only somebody poured bleach on her, this would be hilarious, is what his thought was.
He wants to humiliate a woman.
Well, I don't know if
that sounds like a fantasy, James.
I don't know if it's that or if he's got like this, like, I'm not going to make a movie about football. I'm going to make a movie from a woman's point of view, or like a heartbreaker. Yeah. I don't think it's a comedy, though.
To him, it is.
He said, maybe. Yeah, that's true. I had never done anything like that before, but when you have a vision and it keeps pestering you about it, it keeps pestering you, the vision, apparently. Yeah. You can't sleep, and you're like, I have to put this on paper. So that's his thing.
Look to the other side of the field. There's a guy named Michael Orr with an amazing story.
Oh, he's got a great, yeah. He could have got. That was already sold well before this.
Is it already done,
Oh,
I think?
yeah, long before this. The fucking movie. When did that movie come out?
Was it 2013, 14? No, it was
not
earlier
late.
than that, huh?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was
It's
well
probably
earlier
2008
than
or 2009.
that. I think so, yeah.
Maybe that's what's got this bugaboo up his ass.
That's possible.
He's like, hey, man, his story makes money. I can make one up better than that.
He's real interested in film and shit. Yeah, it's about a bride. Fuck your heroic, struggle from this and Sandra Bullock and all that bullshit.
Our whole team's going to keep Sandy Bullock working. We're all going to write scripts for her.
I'm going to watch a bitch cry for 15 minutes. It's a short film. I'm going to watch her put her makeup on, then fuck it all up. That's my film. It's a better film.
There's nothing in your movie I could jerk off to, Michael.
Not a goddamn thing. Nothing. So, yes, it's pestering him. So he said they sat across from each other at the kitchen table in his home. Mm-hmm. He would write a scene, then she would write a scene. They'd compare notes and decide what to leave in and what to take out. She said within a few weeks, they finished a script for When Beautiful People Do Ugly Things is the name of it. So it was supposed to be a 20-minute short, he said, but they had 50 pages of script, which is a problem.
Yeah.
That's too much for a fucking 20 minutes. It's a minute a page generally, so that's not... Yeah. He said that one came naturally. Some are easier than others. I read somewhere that Quentin Tarantino said it took him 10 years to write Inglourious Bastards. 10 years. Can you imagine writing a script for 10 years?
He thinks he's Quentin Tarantino.
He did make a short about a crying woman at the altar, though, Jimmy, so I feel like he's very close to that. He says his short film was accepted in the Cannes Film Festival, which there's filmmakers... that are very talented that would kill for an opportunity to have their movie seen here and be, get distribution deals and all this shit. This motherfucker
T-Sizzle got his in.
Plays for the Ravens and he's in. So, wow. I mean, it could be great. I don't know. But either way, he got it there. He and Mingo have written 4 short films and a feature called Coalition as well, which debuted at the 2012 ABFF. So this is Team Sizzle Worldwide Media.
He got a whole production company started.
Oh, yeah. He got a whole thing going on.
Wow.
This is the description. Quote, "The Bad Boys Club is really not all that bad. Young, rich, and handsome. The boys know how to have a good time. They love women, fast cars, and doing whatever they want to do. There comes a time in life, however, when karma is helped along. When it's done by a group of scorned women, it can prove to be devastating."
There you go. Now that's what he knows about.
Yeah, it's that movie where all those women get together and fuck with that guy. You know that movie. It's that one.
This is about a movie. When you said handsome, I was like, wait, who? Wait, not him.
What's that movie that came out like 10 years ago where they did that?
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
He wrote it and they put it out?
No, there was a movie already before that. And then there was also First Wives Club, which was also about that. There's been a lot of movies about that. I think 9 to 5 is about a bunch of women coming together to kill.
Yeah.
It's kind of over and over and over. It's a theme that comes on. It's a good theme. I understand it, but it's not an original thought is what I'm getting at. Just not an original thing. They were also wrote and shot a TV pilot called Shade, which Suggs described as... Now, okay, if you're thinking Terrell Suggs co-wrote something, and he says it's a modern-day This Show, what show do you think he's going to say?
Good Times?
Sex in the City. That's what you would have picked, right? That was second coming out of your mouth? Sex in the City?
I want to write something that's really just similar to that, to Sex in the City.
Sex in the City. It's a modern day Sex in the City, because if anything I know about, it's women in their shoes and what they talk about over cocktails, because that's my area of expertise.
Is that what he would come home to on TiVo after practice and games?
Yeah, he's got it. Well, he needs to do research if he's going to write this. Put it on. I want to see if Carrie's going to fucking hook back up with dude or not. Come on, man.
See if that guy that gives real good head comes back in.
Yeah, come on. Modern day Sex in the City. They finished a movie they're trying to get distributed titled Everything About You, a story of a man and a woman who decide to get married but are met with resistance by family members, which has also happened a few times out there. And they're also currently writing Brothers of the Struggle about a young man in Chicago who's trying to change his life amid the violence of the city.
You mean the movie that's been done so many times it dates all the way back to Romeo and Juliet?
A little bit. It's a couple of times. Resistance Against the Families. Yeah, it's Shakespearean. It's the same.
Literal fucking West Side Story.
All of them. They're all this. How many goddamn movies have there been made about our families don't like us?
Right.
How many songs in the 50s and all that? It's a very common
Isn't
theme.
that basically the plot to Twilight?
I mean, not really, because they don't really know
about vampires.
Yeah. But it's her family doesn't really. They like him. They think he's fine. They don't know he's a vampire.
Okay.
So
they don't know that he glitters.
Yeah, half of it, and even the vampires accept her. I had to watch this for PS. I hate this movie, so I had to watch all three. They're like, no, you can't be with a person. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. And he's like, I'm bringing him over. And they're like, we'll make dinner for her. It's fine. Best hospitality ever. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. So what is happening? You're supposed to be fucking vampires. Eat this fucking lady. What's going on?
There was my big fat Greek wedding. There's another one. That's
There's
just
another
the same
one.
thing.
All of them. I think everyone approved of it. They
Eventually.
were just, it's similar though. It's a common old theme. It's guess who's coming to dinner. It's all that shit. It's a common fucking theme. Common theme. And then the other one about a young man in Chicago who's trying to change his life amid the violence of the city. We've never seen that before either. That's a very original idea. He calls it, quote, a kind of modern day version of Carlito's Way. So he just writes shit, then picks movies he likes, and then says they're modern day movies, versions of that.
I really like The Sandlot. I'm going to remake
It's
that.
a modern day. It's about four guys robbing a casino. It's a modern day Sandlot, I think. I feel like. What the hell are you talking about? So 2012, he is arrested again here, or cited for speed and that's unreasonable and not prudent at all. And guess what? He's got no license again, so he gets that too. Now, during the 2012 offseason, he's playing some basketball, keeping in shape, doing some working out, and tears his Achilles tendon.
Oh, no.
Which is kind of a big deal. He and his agent, though, claimed that he was hurt doing conditioning workouts, not playing pickup basketball, which there's a fine line between that because pickup basketball is conditioning.
It's certainly a cardio.
So, it's not like he was riding a motorcycle or he was, crashed into a tree. Yes. It's not like he was doing some crazy shit and fucked himself up. Playing basketball is considered a reasonable exercise.
There was a guy that was taking out the trash and hurt his knee, right? Or it's probably a story.
That's a story. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stories. One guy, I was reading one. A guy blew his finger off with his gun, but he made some other shit up back in the 70s. Crazy shit would happen. So the owner said it was no concern where he hurt it, and that the Ravens will not try to avoid paying him his contract. They're going to pay him anyway. Medical experts believe his injury should force him to miss the entire 2012 season, and he says, fuck that, I'll be back by November, is what he says. Problem is, though, there's two different stories about how he tore the tendon. So one says he was working out, one says he was playing pickup basketball, and the Ravens seem like they don't care either way. So there's a lot of the press is like making fun of them for it. They're exactly. People slicing their own. Well, LaRon Landry was the rookie safety who he got blasted with a paintball in the groin and missed part of the team's minicamp 5 years ago. Remember we talked about that? That was fucking hilarious. I had to bring that back up though. Got shot in the nuts with a fucking paintball. So Suggs said he was injured during a conditioning test, and that the other story is, like we said, he's playing basketball. Either way, I don't think it fucking matters. They said, quote, this is John Harbaugh, the relevant conversation as far as Terrell Suggs is going to rehab. He's going to be back here next week. He's got a doctor's appointment, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to go to work and get that Achilles back. And knowing Terrell, he'll be back sooner than later.
Yeah. The relevant story is we also got him in a driving class and to get his license back.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're really going to work on that. He's doing a 5-hour course, and he's going to do like that Saturday thing.
He's doing 2-a-days on the booklet down at the MDV.
What he needs. He's not good at this, I'm telling you guys. He doesn't know what prudent speeds are. We really got to get him up to date here. October 20th, 2012, he's removed from the physically unable to perform list, allowing him to play the next game against Houston in late October.
Already.
That's wild.
That's fast.
He's the first player in NFL history to recover so quickly from an Achilles injury.
I wonder
like
what
that.
helped him.
He's in amazing shape.
Yeah.
His body's in great shape and heals fast, and he works out.
Chemicals or anything?
Never chemicals. No. I think he's jacked.
There's nothing created to help you heal faster.
Jimmie, he is jacked in the most natural fashion as possible. I don't even think he takes supplements or even like protein or anything like that. I think it's just food. I think picture a large steak, maybe a big pile of pasta.
I see him also maybe...
And then pumping weights in the basement until the wee hours of the morning.
Maybe even experimenting with bleach, and so he was just trying to feed his wife a health drink.
You never know. I mean, there was people out there injecting it into their fucking veins last year, so I wouldn't be goddamn surprised.
Who has any idea?
So anyway, he does pretty well. He finished the game with 4 tackles, his first game back, a pass defended, a sack.
Yeah.
Not too bad. 5.5 months after having surgery.
Wow.
That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. John Harbaugh says what it says about him is, first of all, he's different than most of us. All of us on this conversation aren't healing from an injury like he did. Well, no, you're in your 40s, so probably not. It always amazes me how some of these genetically superior and gifted guys manage these injuries. He said the rehab and the pain he had to endure during recovery shows his mental toughness. I'm real proud of him. He did something that's really unprecedented. It's pretty crazy because he talked about coming back. I believed him, but at the same time, there's always a little bit of me, or probably all of us, that said, okay, he's talking himself into coming back, but how quickly is he really going to be able to? The fact that he was able to get back out here and play as many snaps and as well as he did is pretty impressive. I would say.
Disagree.
No. Yeah. He said, quote, it wasn't a matter of if I was coming back. I think it was a matter of when. That's Terrell. He says, everybody in the building knew I could do it. We have a lot of unfinished business, a lot of work undone, and I just want to be a part of it. So getting back was the number one priority from the jump.
Sure.
So he does pretty well. That year, the Ravens are 10-6.
Wow.
And they have quite a run here. They beat the Colts in the wild card finally, 24-9. Then 38-35 over the Broncos in a shootout. I remember that game.
That was a good game.
Then the Patriots in the conference championship game. They beat New England 28-13.
Wow.
Which was wonderful. And then they play the Niners in the Super Bowl that year.
That's the year the lights went out.
And yeah, it's the year the lights went out in fucking wherever the hell they were. It wasn't Georgia.
New Orleans.
And, well, they're close enough. Yeah. Close enough. There you go. They win the game 34-31 against the Niners, and they are Super Bowl champions. Mm-hmm. And he gets his ring, and he's a part of it because he actually came back and played the whole time. He plays in 8 games, has a couple of sacks, and general leadership also a big deal for him. So he's got a ring.
High scoring, yeah,
34-31. It was a fun game, if I remember correctly.
And that was the Ravens defense was like, that's all they talked about all week.
For 10 years, that's all they talked about.
They were going to destroy them with defense, and it was anything
fucking shootout. Yeah. And the Ravens wouldn't be able to handle a shootout. They all said their offense wouldn't be able to do it, and who cares? So that's a nice story. Mm-hmm. It's heartwarming.
It really is.
The problem is the whole year isn't very heartwarming for him, because while he's doing his comeback, he had a different type of rehab exercise, allegedly, that I don't think most people do to try to rehab an injury.
What did he do?
Well, in September of 2012, he's accused of punching and dragging his girlfriend beside his car.
What the fuck?
While his 2 children were in the car watching this.
Oh, my.
This is Candace Williams again, the same woman.
Terrell.
Yeah, a temporary protective order was placed against him, and he was required to surrender his 7 guns as well, because he had a domestic violence protective order, and Maryland law says you can't have guns with you if you're mad at your wife and, have just committed violence against her.
Brady law.
So he had to give up, AK-47 and all this other shit. Yeah, he had a bunch of guns.
Why does he have that?
Who the fuck knows?
He's T-Sizzle, James.
He's T-Sizzle, man. It's fun. So he court records indicate Suggs filed a custody complaint against her on the 19th of November, which was well after this all came out. Apparently 2 911 calls were received from the Suggs address on November 21st, but no reports were made by the police.
What?
Is this cops going out there seeing it's Terrell Suggs and talking it out? And is this like the New Year's Eve OJ thing or
How
what?
Are there conversations at all? Take this shit serious. It's 2000 what?
Well, even if they went
13?
Even if they went and knocked and no one came to the goddamn door, or like, I don't know what the fuck, there'd at least be a report, I would think.
Yeah,
but
jot some information down.
No reports generated seems very shady.
A 911
I don't know
call
much,
is
so.
made. A police
for a
response,
domestic violence too.
But a police response can't find anybody, and we're like, well, I guess nobody's here.
Either that, or they talked to him and decided it wasn't worthy of a report. Maybe it was the 2-year-old knocked the phone over and hit the speed dial. Like, I don't know what else you would
jot that down.
So I mean, even that the cat may have an explanation. So Warren Alperstein, the lawyer there, told the Baltimore Sun that Candace Williams, Suggs' longtime girlfriend, a mother of his 2 children, filed a court order in November, but he declined to give further details. He said the guns were surrendered over to police pursuant to the court order, and they're resolving their issues, him and Williams. All I can tell you is that he's in rightful and lawful possession of the guns, but turned them over pursuant to the requirements of the law, just for the protection order, because he wants to get his kids over there. So the reason also they make a big deal out of the guns is because this is about 5 days after Javon Belcher shoots his girlfriend and kills himself in front of the fucking staff. The coach and GM in the parking lot of Arrowhead Stadium. So they were taking any domestic violence, and especially anything with a gun involved, real serious at this point. Not that there was a gun involved, but anytime the potential for any gunplay being involved.
There is possession of one or more. That's not.
They just didn't want to hear about it with that in the same sentence as got in a fight with his wife after that whole thing. So he released his own statement on the matter, and he says, quote, "My fiance and I have 2 beautiful children together whom we both love and care for tremendously." No one was doubting that, probably. "The personal issues that the 2 of us have faced recently have been addressed in a responsible and adult manner and have been resolved. I dragged her next to my car. That's a very responsible and adult way to handle it."
Very adult. Very cosmopolitan.
Very cosmopolitan. "I am certain that we will get through this matter and move forward as a happy family."
Wow.
Dude, this relationship is not.
It's not a relationship.
That's right. We don't even have a relationship. That was his fucking actual first thing. We don't have a relationship. What?
Got 2 kids with us.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know what's true. I'm not going to believe, because I don't believe. It's hard to believe anything he says afterward. I'm not in a relationship with that lady. Like, it's hard for me to believe shit at that point now. So, yeah, the attorney for Suggs said she has lifted the petition voluntarily, over and done, and he denies the allegations. They're moving forward in the best interests of the children, and they've resolved their personal issues. Mm-hmm. So he gets his gun. He's got a 45, a 9mm, a 454 Casull revolver,
that's a big one,
a Bushmaster rifle, and 2 Defender 2000 rifles. Which are AR-15s, and 3 shotguns and an AK-47.
My God.
He's got quite a few.
Loaded for bear.
He's got a few guns there. So this is fucking amazing. The protective order is removed December 12th, 2012. So from September to then, they went through,
drag her from the car,
do all this. By December, it's resolved. December 12th, they get rid of the protective order. They both go to court.
Yep.
She has to testify. 2 days later, December 14th, they get married at the Four Seasons Hotel in Maryland.
Very Kobe Bryant.
Dude, if I said, "And what do you think happened next?" You would have said, "She got arrested, he got arrested, they got arrested together, they split for good, they threw one of the kids from a moving car." I don't know, something. They got married at the Four Seasons
in a beautiful ceremony.
The last thing I'd ever thought. This is a mess.
This is the most rocky. This is the cyclical domestic violence, stereotypical family.
That's the thing. This is a stereotype.
This is white trash.
Yes. That's the thing. Oh, man, you just jumped me by about 5 seconds. That is okay. You know what? You're right, though, Jimmy. You're just, you're just concreting the point.
Who was the ring bearer?
So, a very scared child, a very frightened child not wanting to do the wrong job. Yeah. So he posted a statement on Facebook saying, quote, "Last night I married my best friend and the love of my life." Wow. Wow.
3 days ago, you were in court battle.
3 days ago, you weren't allowed to be in the same fucking building with her. You weren't allowed to be on the same property with this woman 3 days ago. 72 hours.
I have never not been invited to wherever you were at. Thank God. You're my best friend.
Yeah. We're allowed to be around each other. What were the pictures like? This is us earlier leaving court where we got our protective orders dissolved, and then here's us at the Four Seasons it's usually here's us getting our license. No. That's what it was. We got our protective order cleared up, then went right over to the licensing section and got a fucking marriage license.
Most relationships can have make-up sex and everything's over. They have to have make-up court order dissolvements.
Yeah. No shit, man.
Jesus Christ.
Our son gave her away, and our daughter looked like a miniature version of my beautiful bride as she stood next to her. I'm a lucky, lucky man. You are lucky, that I'll say. Thank you, God, for all of your blessings and for showing me such amazing favor.
Don't involve him in this.
$4.9 million that year. Maybe he should be thanking somebody for that. So he's feeling pretty good about himself. He's like, I did well. Other people are like, they weren't allowed to see each other a couple days before. It's very strange. He's home. She's out with the kids for the day. She's out with her mom. They're shopping and stuff. $4.9 million to spend. They're doing well.
Registry done.
So, T-Sizzle's around the house. He's got beats going. I picture him like Tom Cruise in Risky Business. His whitey tighties. He's fucking sliding around on the hardwood, doing all this shit, right?
His fucked up teeth.
Having a day with his gold fucking grill and shit. Having a day. And then there's a knock at the door. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, what's that? I don't know. They should be gone. Maybe it's some Girl Scouts. I'd like some cookies. He doesn't care. So he goes.
Answers the door with an AK.
Answers the door with a shotgun in one hand, an AR-15 in the other, and an AK in his waistband of his whitey tighties. And at the door, it's Vince McMahon and Dexter Manley. They're together because they both have something to say to him. They're both there, and they both say... How is it you've come to arrive here? You beautiful bastard. Look at you. Oh, my God. Vince.
Yeah.
Vince, he promised he would not do this. Like, we talked about us. We went through a photo, like a gallery, and I said, here's him with his shirt off. He's oiled up in this one. He's like, here's him posing, and he was like, I said, get it out of your system now. And Vince was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know how he talks, son. I like it all so much. He's really grumbly. So we're driving around, and he's looking at all of them. I said, is that out of your system? He said, yes, I am going to be professional. And then he comes in here. He's got overalls in the car. I'm not kidding. He's not kidding. Just go ahead. Okay, fine. You can say it, Vince. Take that shirt off, please. My God, I can see your muscles bulging. Take the shirt off. Take it off. I go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Here, I'm going to get my overalls. I'll be back. Hold on a minute. Stay right here. Don't move. Don't move. Are you moving? Okay, good. Dexter, keep him here. It's very important. I'm going to go to the car. I got overalls. I'm going to get take that shirt. Oh, God. Now it's just us now, Terrell. You, sir, you're white trash. I'm sorry. This is the definition of white trash. You're in Phoenix. You're fighting outside basketball, playing. It's not a violent sport. You don't fight in basketball.
Shirts are off.
You're fighting. Bleach is involved. Who uses bleach anyway? You use like a color guard maybe, or like something. Even for whites, there's ways to get brighter whites. Terrell, is what I'm saying. Don't have bleach. Threatening to put you're dragging a woman alongside the car, Terrell. My God, it's white trash, Terrell. It's white trash. I got the overalls. I'm coming, Vince. We're done now. No, he'll call you, Vince. It's okay. Just we're gonna go now. I'm sorry. Wait, but I'll leave the overalls they're by the door. And poof, in a feathered boas and 1099s, they're gone. And Terrell he had gotten a baseball bat and an AK. He was very confused. Extremely confused. He fights
with the weirdest weapons. Rebar and bleach.
Rebar, bleach, and a car. They're and there's always a punch in there somewhere. He punched me in the face, then dragged me alongside the car.
Fascinating choice.
He punched me, then hit me with a rebar. Right. That's his opener. So 2000.
He fights like he's fighting with the donation bin from the Goodwill,
or like Clint from Love After Lockup, where he's punching his truck bed. Motherfucking crack!
Unbelievable.
So anyway, the team goes 8-8 that year. He starts all 16 games, makes the Pro Bowl, has a good year, makes $6,400,000. 2014, they sign him to a new deal.
Yeah.
5-year, $28.5 million contract.
Solid.
Stacking dough. A lot of NFL contracts sound that big and then they're cut after 3 years. Like, he plays these out, so he's making all the money. The team goes 10-6 that year. He starts 16 games, has 12 sacks. His typical good year.
He's good.
Does really well. Weeks 10 through 17, he recorded at least 1 sack in each game, which is pretty goddamn decent here. 2 weeks later, he got a sack against Drew Brees, which he was happy about, and he became the 31st player in NFL history to get over 100 sacks.
Unreal.
And first Baltimore Raven to get that.
Yeah.
And he makes $12 million that year as well, doing quite well. He also gets to work on the show Ballers on HBO.
He did?
Yeah, he's on that show. He said about that, quote, everybody's hanging around, shooting the shit, and then it's time to work.
Yeah.
He said, hanging out with the crew, that was the big part. It doesn't hurt to have 30 or 40 beautiful women on the set either. That doesn't hurt at all.
Jesus,
it was
married.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I had to bring so many. My trunk is full of bleach. I didn't give a fuck. There's like 30, 40 of them. I got to use a lot. He said it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. He said once he got there, the producers approached him with an idea, and they wanted him to be in a scene with The Rock.
Yeah.
So he said, I was like, I'm going to be in a scene with The Rock? Holy shit. That's pretty cool. The scene takes place on a fictional talk show, and Suggs is wearing a Diamondbacks hat. And is a guest on the show, and The Rock's character is a former NFL player who accuses Suggs of placing a bounty on his head. They exchange a few words before shoving each other and falling to the floor, where they're eventually pulled apart.
What range?
Vince is like, oh, God!
Jesus, it's
he's
so
doing
hot.
it! Oh, he's with The Rock! Oh, God, look at his balls and his back, and it's just so manly. I need new pants. Hold
God,
on.
it feels so good.
I need new pants. It's just so much for me to handle. So, you don't see either of their faces because they're stunt doubles and all that kind of shit. Suggs had a torn Achilles at the time, and and Rock was injured because he was filming Hercules and hurt himself. So he said, quote, it's funny, 2 big athletes and we couldn't do our fight scene. He said, I want another Super Bowl ring while I'm playing, but my ultimate dream is to win an Academy Award.
Is that right?
That's what he says.
He thinks he's a leading man.
He wants to be behind the scenes.
Okay.
He doesn't really want to be an actor.
Credit.
Yeah, he wants to write. He wants to produce. 2015, the Baltimore goes 5-11. That's not great. Problem is also another problem. September 13, 2013, he hurts his Achilles again. His other Achilles now.
Oh no.
Yep, and leaves the game. And he was a torn Achilles, so he's done for the year. And they lost to the Broncos that in that game. And wide receiver Steve Smith said, it's a heavy blow. It's a tough deal. Yeah. He said, this is Steve Smith. I'll tell you this about Terrell Suggs. You try to define why things happen. Here's a tough break for a guy who's done nothing but work above and beyond to a degree, and at least as hard as he worked his whole career. But I'd say more to prepare himself and be the kind of leader that you just admire so much. He's been a great leader for us. Elvis Dumerville said you can never replace a Terrell Suggs. He's a big emotional leader for our team. It hurts everybody when you hear news like this. We just hope he has a speedy recovery and that he gets through it. I can't imagine how tough that is. Well, yeah, he's got 2. Now it's both. He said he was fucked up is what it was. He said it hurt really bad to take a shower. He said it took forever to get in and out of a car with that. He said everything was strenuous because he said it was the most excruciating pain he's ever had in his entire life.
I believe it.
That sounds awful. He was scared he'd fall on the reattached tendon and tear it again. So he said he shut down and got fat as fuck at this point. He just was like, I don't want to move. I don't want to fuck it up. He said that he was depressed at that point. He said, you're starting at a -50. I'm just staying up in my room. I was in a dark place.
Yeah, I'll bet.
That sounds like it. Jesus Christ, it's miserable. So his wife at this point definitely a relationship now. She files for divorce.
You're boring.
Accusing him of adultery this time. He denies that accusation. She requests full custody of their children, who are 6 and 7 at this point, and child support and alimony. Her filing states that Suggs has, quote, committed adultery during the marriage and that she has not forgiven or condoned the adulterous conduct. So this isn't an arrangement, is what she said. She's pissed. An attorney for Suggs said that he remained faithful to his wife until they separated recently.
We were on a break.
We're on a break. He's allowed to fuck whoever he wants. Who he pours bleach on is none of her concern at this point in time.
Despite a ring, we're on a break.
Fuck. The allegation she makes concerning Mr. Suggs occurred well after they separated. They were no longer in love and no longer wanted to be married to one another. Wow. They said that they had signed a confidential prenuptial agreement that dictates terms of a divorce. An attorney for Candace Suggs did not immediately respond for comment on that. Terrell filed a response to the request for divorce in which he asked for joint custody of the children. Yeah. He made $4 million that year. So, 2016, March 4th, 2016, off season, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, boy.
2:03 a.m.
What happened there?
That's Scottsdale, 2:03 a.m. Bad things happen. He's getting pulled over.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley's arrested down the street. This is a mess.
There's people pissing in alleyways.
People fighting. Yeah. It's a disaster. He's booked at 2:03 a.m. that morning. What he did was he was at a Mexican restaurant in Scottsdale. I'm trying to think of an all-night Mexican joint in Scottsdale. It's got to be South Scottsdale, first of all.
It's got to be Filiberto's or Taco Bell.
That's what I mean around there. Well, I think it's probably Filiberto's.
Probably.
Either way, or one of the knockoff Filiberto's. One of the Bertos. Yeah. He apparently he gets arrested for he got in an accident. And the Raven said, Terrell made us aware of the situation, and we're looking into it. He got into a minor one-car traffic accident earlier in the night. No one's hurt, but someone heard it and called the cops, because you have to report that sort of shit. The cops pull up to the restaurant after following a trail of fluids from the accident into this parking lot and right up to his BMW sitting there.
He ran into something and broke the radiator.
Yeah, he fucked some shit up. So they arrived there. They spoke with Suggs, and they learned that he got in an accident, didn't report it. And guess what he doesn't have? A fucking driver's license as well, which is why he didn't report it.
Yeah.
So he's detained for a suspended license, and that's that. He wasn't. He said it was suspended due to speeding tickets. Right. They get the arrest video of the thing, and he's adamant that he has not been drinking, and he's telling the cops, "Do your little tests. Come on, give me your little test." Which he does, and he passes. Yeah. He's not drunk.
Yeah.
That's one thing. He just doesn't have a license and got in a fucking accident, and he's a moron. Get your license fixed. What the fuck, man? During the arrest, he explains why he wasn't the one who contacted police. He says, "If you ain't did your research, I'm an athlete. We do kind of get a bad rep right now, but driving without a license still ain't good. They'll see it as a DUI or whatever."
No, they won't.
So, no, it's just no license.
It's worse.
It's worse, yeah, because get a fucking go get your license, man. There's 17-year-olds with licenses. Go get one.
You and the DUI guy, neither should be on the road, you fucking jackass.
Jesus. So he's taken to jail where he's booked and released. He apologized on Instagram saying, "My bad, y'all, dumbass Sizz.
Dumbasses.
Stop fucking driving with no license."
Idiot.
He's charged with 2 misdemeanors, and he's I don't know what the fuck they even were. Leaving the scene and driving without a license, I know, is one of them here. His rep, Denise White, issued an official say. He's got a PR person now. This morning, Terrell Suggs was in a single-car accident. No one was injured. Police were called, and upon speaking with Terrell, found his license to be suspended for speeding tickets. He was detained by the police and released a couple hours later. Terrell will let the judicial system take its course and fix his license issues. It's been like years about this license now.
It's been a while.
He also tells the press that he suffered a minor cut to his forehead during the crash, but he's fine. And
what the fuck did he hit?
By the way, the whole Instagram post was mood, driving with a suspended license, street cred equals 100 trillion. Oh. My bad, y'all, dumbass Sizz.
That ain't street cred.
No, I think that was sarcastic, hopefully. 100 million. It's not really a big crime. The Scottsdale PD says Suggs told the cops he fell asleep behind the wheel before the crash. So that's what he said was the problem. So, yeah, they followed the fluid trail. He had a BMW 750.
It's a nice car.
Nice fucking car. Those are comfy, man. I was in an Uber of those ones. Yeah, that's a nice one. Cops investigated and determined that he was not impaired and stated that he possibly fell asleep before the collision, cited for leaving the scene of an accident, driving on a suspended license, and that's that. So he said that he simply went to the Mexican restaurant that was open so he could sit down and call a friend to pick him up. He wasn't just fleeing anywhere. Right. He didn't call the cops first, but, so there's that. Now, the court here, the prosecutors dropped the criminal charge against him stemming from the crash, saying he just has to go to driving school and make it a traffic issue. He said, I'm glad this is behind me. My focus right now is on the NFL season and getting healthy coming out of my bye week. And getting my fucking driver's license he should tack on to the end. So it's at this point where his ex-wife comes out with more accusations, different ones this time. She accuses him of mistreating their children now. Yeah. She went to Instagram to say that he was neglecting their 2 young children.
Oh, no.
She said he's been sending their children to school without lunch and making them wear shoes several sizes too small.
Oh, no.
He also might not be paying attention at 6 in the morning. He's like, no, this is your shoe. Put it on. Right. It's fine. Yeah. Just put it on. It's your shoe. I don't fucking know. I'm tired.
That's her shoe.
We've
it's not. Shut up.
All been there.
Yeah.
Just put the fucking shoe on.
I don't care.
I'm telling you it's yours. I'm an adult. I know shit. So Suggs says that his children are his world and he would never neglect them or treat them poorly, despite the allegations. Yeah. They spoke with his rep, who says that the claims made by Candace are flat out untrue. And, she said, by the way, they're in the middle of a nasty divorce, so maybe that's what it is. She also accuses him of refusing to pay for clothes for the 2 young kids and says that no lunch money. So that's it. White here, his rep said, Terrell takes magnificent care of his children. He is a caring and present father. We normally would not respond to such a rant by an ex clearly scorned.
Right.
Terrell is disappointed that his ex would take to social media to try and paint a picture of him as a father who somehow does not take care of his children. His children remain his focus and the number one priority in his life. Terrell is a great father, and that care that can never and should never be questioned.
This will be in the movie.
This will be in the movie. He's also spotted for driving with a suspended license. And at another point here, so he does that a lot.
Jesus Christ!
He drives with a suspended license, and the kid thing sounds like some shit that's just a back and forth between that. Yeah. That sounds like bullshit to me, honestly.
Sucks.
That sounds like
it's just something that couldn't come at a worse time.
It's just bad for him. I mean, it's bad. And her, I don't know what's been going on with her. This whole relationship, the 2 of them, it's a fucking mess to the point where you just feel bad when people are
real bad.
Just tied together in a fucking way like this. Ugly. I mean, and for him, I feel worse about the Achilles tendons. I mean, I feel bad about those, but not nearly, Jimmie, as bad as I feel for Terrell Suggs.
Oh, no.
Truck driver with Bear Express in the Memphis metropolitan area. And then I found Terrell Suggs. He, by the way, got TerrellSuggs.net, this guy.
Oh, good for him.
So Terrell's pissed at him. By the way, here's the guy. It's definitely not Terrell fucking Suggs. Dude looks like he goes about $130, this guy with glasses. Big smile, like, I took your shit.
He looks like Eddie Murphy and Bowfinger.
Yeah, he does. That's exactly what he looks like. That's awesome. Go to TerrellSuggs.net if you want to fucking find out.
That is hilarious.
He's going to see, like, his analytics and be like, why did the traffic to my site surge? What's going on? He's going to be searching.
I'm about to be famous.
Fuck. He says, hello, I'm a dynamic businessman with more than 20 years of entrepreneurship. In the first few years, I gained pertinent knowledge that helped me overcome the challenges of new entrepreneurship. Through trial and error, dedication, and learning the accounting side of business, obviously our guy, I now have one of the top service companies in North Alabama. I'm proud of my success and believe that I would have. I believe that if I would have had a consultant from the beginning, it would have saved me time, money, and frustration. He went to the University of North Alabama, and he's doing his shit here. So there you go.
He'll never be as famous.
No, he's on the board of directors of the Union Chapel Christian Academy as well. Jesus
nice
Christ.
Guy.
I guess, yeah. 2016 season, 8-8 for the Ravens. He plays in 15 games, 8 sacks.
Not bad.
Not bad. Makes $4.5 million. 2017, he is cited for, what is this, speeding and not using prudent, reasonable speed to avoid a collision.
Oh, he got in an accident?
Got in an accident. It was his fault.
Yep.
Stupid. So there you go. He's cited for that. It looks like he has a license, though, at this point.
Oh, that's great.
I don't see. Yeah. And he's sent to defensive driving class.
Yeah.
And that was that. So he's got to have a license to have. Yeah, good job. Good for you, Terrell. 2017, they go 9-7. He plays in all 16 games, has 11 sacks.
Yep.
He just keeps going and going. He's been in the league a long fucking time. He's 35 this year.
Yeah.
That's a lot. With 2 torn Achilles. That's wild. $4 million too. 2018 season here, he plays in all 16 games again. Has 7 sacks.
Again.
Yeah, it's crazy. They don't make the playoffs that year, though. And he said it's like a bad dream missing the playoffs. 15 years as a Raven, I would have to say this one is definitely the most devastating. I'll remember this one forever. So he said it's just been a lot. He said, I'm planning on playing football a few more years.
What?
You think I should quit? My body ain't hurting. My body ain't what's hurting right now. I plan on playing football next year and for years to come. $4 million.
Wow.
He makes. By the way, he loves The Godfather.
Yeah.
There's this whole discussion of what he like his movie tastes. He loves The Godfather. He said the dinner scene where Corleone shoots Sollozzo is his favorite. Him and the cop McCluskey there. He gets the gun from the toilet. He said he loves it. He said his mindset for 2018 is Vito Corleone.
Okay.
And he said he's into it. Vito warns the head of the mob families that if Michael is struck by a bolt of lightning, he'll blame the people in this room. And Suggs said that scene was a masterpiece. It was brilliant. And he told everybody to leave him the fuck alone when he goes to Italy. So he says that his favorites are Tarantino and Martin Scorsese. So he likes the kind of gangstery. They're good fucking directors too. That's the other reason.
He loves the best movies.
Yeah, they're good goddamn movies. He says he likes it all. He says his favorite character with Tarantino. What did he says? He knows the power of the N-word. He knows how to make people cringe. He said. In Django, oh my God, in Django, they said it 177 times, maybe more.
I don't. All I know is I watched that alone, and I was uncomfortable.
It's a little uncomfortable.
I was like, are we just doing this?
Yeah.
I was like, Jimmie, you put it on. I was like, Jimmie, I did not do this.
Jimmie,
you need to change this is not
crazy.
Okay.
Another one he says is Scorsese. He said his he loves The Departed. He loves he loves The Departed. He loves all that shit. He loves all the gangster ones. He likes the fucking whatever.
He loves some of the most popular movies. That's weird.
He loves good movies. Yeah. He said that he wants to produce a $500 million blockbuster someday. And he appreciates the art of creating a story as much as lifting weights or studying game film.
He's so frustrating. If he gets to do that, I'm going to be furious. That's not okay. You can't just give that to a guy just because. He doesn't know anything more than anybody else.
No. He says he wants a boss mentality at all times. Everything you do, you have to remember you're the head of the family. I have to have the mindset of Vito Corleone in everything I do.
Oh, my God.
So he's in another place here. He doesn't like roller coasters.
No?
Is another thing. He said the only way he'll ever ride one is with his girlfriend. With his girlfriend is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Disney, which is the little, that.
The one that's always broke down.
He says also small planes he doesn't fuck with, which that's just being tall.
I don't blame you even a little bit.
If I can't, I'm not fucking with a plane I can't stand up straight in. End of story. And we're about the same height.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No way. I don't do that shit either. Brain damage is another thing he's got. He says that he's obviously gotten some concussions. Sure. They brought up CTE, and he says, nah. Vince McMahon's like, he's perfect.
I love it.
He said that his girlfriend and his mother may be worried about his wires getting crossed, but he admits that he admits also several Ravens teammates have told him they're never letting their sons play the game because of what's wrong with them. But he says he's sincerely not concerned.
What?
That shows brain damage, is what that shows. Quote, us as gladiators, that comes with it. My mom doesn't want me to do it anymore, but I signed up for this. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it comes with, I'll take it. That's what he says. He talks about his 2 worst concussions. He said chasing down Carson Palmer, he got hit by Ray Lewis by accident, and those are the ones you don't see coming when your teammate gets you. That's why they get those a lot. He said he blinked himself awake. And then another time, Ed Reed knocked him out by accident.
Wow. Ed hits so fucking hard.
Oh, yeah. He said that he's not, I think it was a knee, though, that got him. Like, that's what happens a lot. Someone will get a knee or something like that. He says he wasn't even sure how long he was unconscious for. He just said Ed woke him up with a loud sizzle, sizzle. You all right?
Yeah.
He said he blinked himself to awake again. And this is in 2004 he's talking about. He says the concussion protocol, quote, those were the days, he says. He said it consisted of true or false questions, so players had a 50-50 shot.
Jesus.
He said that he recalls the following. Do I have any fingers up? Yeah, you have some fingers. All right, you're all good to play.
You have some fingers.
Get back in there, buddy. If you don't go, what are fingers? You're fine.
I see fingers.
He admits at this point in his life to starting to, quote, forget little shit.
Yeah.
It's called, it's happening, but he can still remember plays, so that's good enough for him.
Oh, my. And you have bad decision-making skills under pressure. There's so many things.
Yeah. He said, plus the NFL's trying to curtail concussions, but he says he's never seen more concussed players in his career than he has the last 3 seasons. He rants about how the new helmets that were allegedly supposed to help and rules that pollute the minds of defensive players. He said, quote, it was understood in the early 2000s that football is a game of instinct, and at 100 miles an hour, you don't have time to hesitate and contemplate, am I going to get fined? Which is true. If you play like that, you'll get hurt more. You can't hesitate. So it's a mess. Yeah. Football is one of those things. There's no safe way to play it. There isn't. You saw that hit last night at the end of the game.
My.
That was the Cooper Cup hit. That's a great hit, though. Yes, their helmets technically collided, but it was one man falling down from a jump and another fucking shooting up at a jump. In slow motion, that looks hard to avoid. In real time at 100 miles an hour, it's fucking impossible. You either have to say, this is a crazy thing that humans shouldn't be allowed to do legally. Like, people shouldn't be able to make money off these guys doing it. Or you have to say, it's dangerous and you're going to have brain damage, and is that okay with you, and know that up front? Because there's no way to do both.
And that hit earned the MVP award for Cup, for sure.
I think so, too.
Yeah. He can't spell it, but he got it.
Yeah. No shit. He doesn't remember how to fucking spell it. He said he hates the Steelers the most.
Yeah, I believe.
Hates them the most.
The rival.
He said he remembers real meet me in the alley type threats is what he said. We're going to talk shit. We're going to back it up. We might get into a fight while we're doing something. He said it was personal. He said, quote, we wanted to kill Hines Ward.
Yeah.
I had to threaten him before every play. Like, if you crack me, I swear to God, I'll break your fucking neck. Because he would chop block guys. So, don't do that. He said Ward was a villain who would crack back on unsuspecting linebackers, and he said that after one of his many warnings, he still blindsided Bart Scott. And he said Ward would have gotten Suggs, too, if Suggs didn't dodge him at the last split second. He said after Ward broke the jaw of Cincinnati's Keith Rivers, Suggs' threats sharpened. He said, quote, I swear to God, if you hit me like that, I'm getting thrown out of this fucking league. I'm going to beat you to death on the field.
That's probably why Vontaze Burfict was so fucking vicious out there.
Oh, yeah.
Those games are generally like that. They're very personal.
They are. The inter-division games,
like
fuck
that,
yeah.
Forget it.
He said that Ward was still doing it. The Ward just had no fear. And he said part of him respects Ward because, damn it, you love a tough motherfucker like that on your team. He's like, he's a tough bastard. He doesn't care. He also says, this is the stupidest thing he's ever said, by the way. He doesn't understand why he was chastised for hitting Sam Bradford low on an option play, because he hit him low and hurt his knee. He said, but nobody blacklisted Lawrence Taylor for literally snapping Joe Theismann's leg in half a generation before. He said, quote, he broke his knee. Hey, man, it's part of the game. He's saying if LT's hit, my hit should have been fine. Difference is you hit Bradford in the leg. Right. LT, he didn't hit him in the leg.
He was flying and trying to grab him.
No, he grabbed him and tried to pull him over Theismann anchored himself.
Yeah.
He anchored himself down where I'm going to go over here and not let you throw me. Mm-hmm. And Taylor just yanked him so hard, and he had his feet planted in the turf that he snapped.
It just came apart.
The force of him pulling him snapped his leg in half. That's how hard he pulled him. It's a different hit. Different.
And he leapt and was being drug and then pulled. Where I believe that the hit he hit that Terrell hit
him in the leg.
He hit him like in a pile straight in the leg. Like
I believe so.
It's not the same thing.
So he says that he could fix the league.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He said, I would definitely change the commissioner. This guy gets paid more than any coach, any player. I would definitely change everything about that. I don't agree with it. It's my personal stance on it. Before, I thought he was just a dictator who showed his favoritism. They've stripped some of the things that he's done, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the commissioner.
How much does he make?
A lot of money from what I've heard. I don't know exactly, but yeah, he does. He has 125 sacks so far. He thinks he's doing well, and he says he said that he doesn't worry about talking shit about Goodell. He says, if I get fined, I'll worry about it after. I'm going to play, and I'm going to be Sizzle.
Oh, boy.
That's it. He doesn't give a shit. Still wants to play. He says he's keeping his body right. His secret weapon is peaches.
Oh, I'll bet.
He eats peaches, and that makes him very...
That's the stuff, huh?
That's it. Peaches are... You can play in the NFL till you're 40 if you eat peaches.
Just peaches.
Peaches, man. So he says he's doing great. He's ready to play more football. And he said, this is the best I felt in 5 years. I can be Sizzle on the field.
Oh, boy.
He doesn't want to say later on, oh, did I leave too early?
All right.
So March 13, 2019, Suggs signs a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals.
Is that right?
Yep. Makes his debut and gets a sack against Matthew Stafford. It was a 27-27 tie that game.
Oh, against Detroit?
Yep. And in week 2, they go to Baltimore, which I feel like they signed him just to get Baltimore secrets. He got a standing ovation from the fans because he didn't want to leave. They just were done with him.
Right.
So the Ravens went on, had a good year that year, but the Cardinals finished the year 5-10-1, and they actually cut Suggs in the middle of the season.
Ouch.
Yeah, they cut him, but no worries because he signs with Kansas City.
Really?
Remember, Kansas City picked him up that year.
That's right.
Yep. October 2019, he wore a Star of David on his cleats during a game to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of the Tree of Life synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh there. So that was nice. December 2016, he's claimed off waivers by the Chiefs and moved to the defensive end position. And they go to the Super Bowl and fucking win the Super Bowl that year. Yeah. So he makes that year off of Arizona $6,647,059.
He made $6.5 million.
Yep, the $7 million deal.
Oh my!
Went to KC for the rest of it and made $352,941 to go win the Super Bowl
and a championship ring.
Yeah, so he retires. Total money, $106,662,941.
That is disgusting.
That is so much money.
That's ridiculous.
A lot of fucking money.
And 2 championship rings.
Deuce, baby.
Wow.
That is a shitload. So that's wild stuff. He's, and then 2020, so he's retired after that. 2020, he is cited for speeding reasonable and prudent to avoid a collision. So he was speeding and got in another accident.
Jesus Christ.
Also, his house, I found on his, I will not give his address out, obviously, but I found his, I do background checks on people and shit to find some of these addresses. He lives in a house that's valued at $2,366,200.
Phoenix?
It's an 8-bathroom house, 9,136 square feet.
10,000 square feet
on a 71,000 square foot lot.
What is that? 2 acres?
It's a lot. Yeah. He's got a lot.
Where is that?
He bought it
in Arizona.
Yeah, it's in Phoenix. It's in Scottsdale.
Okay.
I don't understand how this works here. It says that he purchased it for $3,495,000, and it's worth $2.3 million now. So I don't know how it's gone down in 10 years.
What year did he buy
2011.
Oh, no.
It
should be worth
makes
more
no
than
sense. Annual tax is $17,925.
Not bad.
That's not bad actually for all that in Arizona. Now, his ex-wife has gone full on absolute conspiracy lunatic.
What?
I'm talking. she fights with other conspiracy lunatics about lunacy conspiracy shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like, she's the type that went to January 6th and fought with both sides.
Holy shit.
Because they all thought she was nuts.
Holy shit.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
But they she's just crazy. She's just a fucking,
what happened?
She's a lunatic. Like, we don't know.
A lot of bleach.
Too much bleach is what it is. She had Instagram accounts that she deleted where she would promote conspiracy theories. She was a Pizzagate person, I think.
Oh, no.
Mass shooting conspiracy. Alex Jones bullshit.
Oh, no.
Sandy Hook is a hoax. Yeah, one of those people.
False flag
and it's
woman?
all financed by George Soros.
You crazy
One of
bitch.
those people. It just picks words that make certain segment of the population crazy and just puts them all in one sentence. Yeah. And then they go, oh, my God. That's what they're trying to do here. So she's fucking nuts is the the basic end to that.
Damn it.
Can't get enough of Terrell Suggs. Well, stick around.
Yeah.
You just saw him in the Super Bowl yesterday. I have a feeling he's not going to go away.
No.
And he's making movies. Look for him at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
That said.
Or the 5th Street Jail, 5th Avenue Jail.
5th Street, it's a Madison Street Jail. Either one. He'll be around.
He'll be around.
And so do that. Check all that out. And also, if you like that show, tell the world about it.
Please do.
Get on whatever app you listen to, whatever platform you're listening to. Give us 5 stars. It does help a lot. It helps drive us up the charts, which is so helpful.
Very important.
So thank you for everyone that's done that. Everybody, please follow us on social media. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. We thank you for coming out to that virtual live show. That really, really meant a lot to us. And we had a lot of fun. I think it was our best one, and we've been told
I really do.
It was pretty goddamn fun. So thank you. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Right now, you can get all of your tickets for upcoming live shows. There are a few tickets we found out because people can return them and stuff because they were rescheduled. So there's a few tickets that opened up for both Minneapolis and Chicago.
Fantastic.
Not a lot at all. We're talking, dozens out of a 1,000-seat theater, but some tickets. So if you've been waiting, wishing you could get tickets for that or wanting to get tickets for that, you can do it right now. Crime and Sports. There's a few tickets to that Nashville show. I think it was August it was rescheduled for. Was it? August, I think.
Yes, August.
Whenever it's rescheduled for. There's a few tickets left for that people turn. So there's been nothing for 2 years about that one. And also at the Ace of Spades in Sacramento, there is tickets for that Crime and Sports as well. So get your tickets for those and all the Small Town Murders right now. Do that. A lot of fun. Check out Patreon this week because if you've been waiting, this might be a good week for you. We're going to do wild stuff. Patreon.com/crime and sports for $5 a month or above. Anybody $5 or a month or above, you get access to every damn thing we put out on bonus for both shows, for Crime and Sports, for Small Town Murder. And it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and it's a good way to support your boys. So thank you for doing that. We really appreciate everybody that does it. We got the shout outs in a second. Patreon this week, patreon.com/crime and sports. And you're going to get access to both of them and everything else. The whole back catalog, over 100 episodes. We have Crime and Sports, a fun episode, worst sports contracts of all time. So this will be fun. Some of these will be the player signing a bad contract, like Ricky Williams.
Right.
That was a terrible contract on his part. Yeah, there's that. And then there's ones that the team, we're going to give him all this. It's going to be great. He's going to be our signature star. And they do nothing. So a lot of failure to make fun of on both sides. And the athlete, the teams, everything like that. Be fun. Small Town Murders episode is a crazy one. I've been reading a book I've read it a couple times about BTK, describing his whole life in his own words. Yikes. The BTK killer. And I'm going to go over a couple of his murders as described by him. His thoughts, his actions, what he was doing. It's fucking gross. Yeah. And he's not that gross or that graphic. It's the way he describes things. Sure. And the words he uses are just so strange that you have to hear it to believe it. And you can hear it on patreon.com/crime and sports. And you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show, obviously right now, where Jimmie will mispronounce your name while trying to pronounce it correctly with all of every fiber of his being.
Everything I got.
That said, Jimmie, I think it's time, goddammit. Yeah. Why don't you, You level me. Yeah. Level me with the names of the most wonderful goddamn people on the face of the earth who would never pour bleach on me or try to drag me beside their car. Hit me with them now.
This week's executive producers are Chrissy-Ann Castaldi, Gareth Locke in Australia. You. Cheer up, bitch.
Cheer up, bitch.
Shit's happening, and you got to be a part of it. Hang in there. Jordan Bennett, Selena Jensen, Hope Mowry, Brandon Rachel, Mario Federico, and Royce Isaacs, that goddamn wrestler.
Hey, Royce. We love Royce. He will suplex the shit out of you. Toss you all
guys
over.
So much for your support. You're amazing people. Other producers this week are Anthony Shaw's fiance, I believe. What is her goddamn name? Her name's Joy, and she's 33 weeks pregnant.
Oh, wow.
With baby Henry.
They already named it. Look at you. Very organized.
Yeah. Other producers.
Congratulations on that level of organization.
Corporal Carl Kirshner.
Our guy.
Liz Vasquez. Bryant Rivera Rumbo. Carly Mae Rivers. Megan McDermott. Peyton Meadows. Vicky Scattergood. Craig Ventura. Jeff Shrewsbury. Larry Butterfast. Kayla. Oh, happy birthday, Kayla. Soon to be.
Happy birthday.
Sipiella,
Thanks, Larry, too. Yeah, that's amazing.
June's eBay shop. And the nicest note ever. Thank you.
Thank you.
I smacked the mic. Tell your husband hello as well.
Look like you were giving it to me.
It's your turn.
I got my own. It's fine.
Tobin Lynn, rest in peace, Gogurt. Shauna and Brienne. Shit Bucket Burgoo, happy birthday, happy hour. Aaron and Chris Burkhalter. Florence Cullerton. Samantha No More Moose Quigley. Sean Flanagan. Janice Hill. Bulldog Brower. Rabbi Shmulevich.
Hey, that's an old wrestler.
There he is.
Bulldog Brower.
Liam Wright, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Megan Manillo, or Manillo, whichever. Willie Lee Williams Jr. Mike Sears, happy birthday. Jason bought a new Rush pinball machine. Forrest. Tony Simpson. Pablo Luna. 3D Palace. Miranda Gegner. Danielle Foyles. Connor Smith. Chuck Nelson. Shannon Burnett. Court with no last name. Queen Leaf. Kevin with no last name. Jessica Confer. Mackie Tisdale. Kat with no last name. Spencer Woolard. Mariki. Bad Stubner. Boy, oh boy, I'm sorry. Kate Ankrum, Shay States, Shannon Phillips, CC Mongrain, Maddie with no last name, Thomas Guthier, Sarah with no last name, Kristen Skinner, Brandon Rachel, I think that's the same guy. He donated both ways.
Wow, thank you.
Zoe Rajski, Jesus, Brienne with no last name, Brian Kirchhoff, Zach Paris, Carolyn Clark, Edgar Mercado, Andrea Gormley, Paul Castello, Amber Tinsley, Justin with no last name, Cassandra Secundo, Jess Carlson, Beth Ballinger, David Slee.
You're dangerously close to the.
I know it.
Segundo is what you're trying to say, I think.
I think that's
not what you almost said.
Son. Liam Booth, Dayton Hamilton, MJ Sarawis, Vicky Christensen, Jameson Tuzio, Edwin Stacy, Tracy, Alex with no last name, Ryan Klump, Grant Phillips, Thomas Foster, Tasha Girl, Wesley Hofford, Amanda Ming, Dan Kester, Valerie Shreve, Kim Helms, Kai Connell, Matt Patty Whack. Oh boy. John Montenegro, Stephen Mullins, Patricia Austin, Jessica Leggett, Chris Marlin, Christina Smith, Alec Porter, Irene Vega, Kathy Shaw, Angadavir, Pawar. I'm never going to get that. I apologize. TJ Enlick, Sarah Jones, Bob Croup, Joe Lynn Curran, Mo Harrington, Shane Smith, Lisa Galashua. Trevor Roberts, Greg Petrakis, Garfunkel with no last name, Kathy Theed Frank, I think, Josephine Gavinet, Mary Evan, Eve Glandon, Dustin Danes, Richard Cartwright, Corey Ann, Julie Cummings, Beth Marchetti, Molly Haytem, fucking hate him. Noah Sapper, the Stoner Berserker, Erica Akamine, Seth King, Sir Chuck Wagon, Cassandra Harrison, It's Just Us, 1193, Nzinga Bryant, Braden Dietz, John Hart, Robert Kane, I think, James Samuel Martin II, Dr. Nikki Martinez, Evan A., Tiffany Jane, Kyle Heyer, Parker Lane Elliott with no last name, Samantha Mars, Julie Bailey, Benjamin Williams, Skirbles, Amy Lambert, Tony Luongo, fucking hell, Liam Wright, Thank you, Liam. Larry Riley, Daniel Ziegler, Sue Minato, Corwin Miller, Brian Gutierrez, Kenzie Keller, Tracy B., Quentin Ward, Joy, nope, that's Jay Soar McKenna, Travis Louch, Devin Wachter, Todd Almost
Hard
Canadian Whore, Johnny Harlan, Bryce Prescott Smith, Reese, I think it's Rice, Lisa Hetrick, Lisa Farmer, Amy Finazzo, Sandra Donahue, Samantha Marie, Tanya Christine, Drake Adams, Michael Tower, Jonathan Howley, Roscoe Clibbins, Jesus, Tommy, Adriana Herrera, Kia Day, Jay Rod, Carter Fox, Sarah Hynek, Tim Crane, Catherine Camineri.
What happened there, Jimmy?
Nope.
You have a stroke in the middle of that name or what?
Katie
I can't feel my faith.
I smell burnt toast.
What's happening?
Katie Hill, Cody with no last name, Matthew K, Beth Brocker, Jules Mayanuski, Mayankusi,
yeah,
Mayankusi Nia Kazia.
Fuck
Jesus Christ. Esteban Leon Jr., Adam Krug, nope, that's Klug, Akila Robinson, Amara Ferguson, Jason Tavierna, Dylan Snyder, Gage McNaught, Hannah Little, Kitus Burhanu, Jack Mehoff, son of a bitch.
Thank you, Bart Simpson.
And all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you, truly.
Thank you, everybody, so much, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts.
It's really incredible.
We're overwhelmed with your support. Thank you. And like we said, all the Patreon people, your PayPal people, the people who just support us with the virtual live show.
That's incredible.
That's amazing. Going and buying the live show tickets. They're selling really well. Thank you for supporting us and changing our entire fucking lives.
You gave me a New York trip with a Super Bowl attached to it. I haven't watched Super Bowl, James, in
years.
Since 5 years.
Yeah,
probably.
at least.
It was awesome.
So
I loved every second of it. Thank you, guys.
Such a blast. Thank you for everything you do. Honestly, it's really, really great. Jimmy, how do they get a hold of us? What do you think?
You know where they can find us.
Find us.
We're on the internet.
Google the show. If you go to shutupandgivememurder.com, I guarantee you the links to find us, we leave a trail of breadcrumbs starting at shutupandgivememurder.com. So.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Oh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy. So do that. Join us. Keep coming at us every damn week. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.